Check out the Fall Service Call Special from Shelby Heating and Air. Shelby Heating and Air is now offering a Fall Service Call Special of just $55. But that's not all. Get up to $750 with a special Shelby Heating and Air discount on qualifying systems. Call today at 704-487-7877 and schedule your $55 service call appointment. Shelby Heating and Air. Online at shelbyheating.com. See their page at whatsupshopper.com and like them on Facebook too.
Huzzah! Escape to the Renaissance Festival. Saturdays and Sundays, October 1st through November 20th. Presented by Pepsi. There's music, comedy, circus entertainments. Eat, drink, be merry. Sponsored by Harris Teeter. Tickets available online only at renfestinfo.com. While supplies last. The Carolina Renaissance Festival is sponsored by Sunbelt Rentals. For all your equipment rental needs. Equipment service guaranteed. Huzzah!
Elliott Dixon Auctions announces an estate auction on Saturday and Sunday, November 5th and 6th. It'll be held at 221 Lee Black Road outside of Cherryville at the estate of Elwood and Helen Mabry. The auction will be Saturday, November 5th starting at 9 a.m. and Sunday, November 6th starting at 1 p.m. There'll be tractors, trucks, furniture, jewelry, clocks, tools, and more. That's Saturday and Sunday, November 5th and 6th at 221 Lee Black Road outside of Cherryville. For more information, call 704-472-5000 or visit online at auctionzip.com, auction number 7760. Hannah Merritt of Crest High School is this month's McDonald's KTC Broadcasting WhatsUpShopper.com Scholar Athlete of the Month. Hannah is a junior at Crest and is the daughter of Wayne and Paylene Merritt. Hannah plays volleyball, soccer, and is on the swim team. She has a grade point average of 4.59. Her advanced courses include government, U.S. history, psychology, human geography, biology, language, and composition. Also calculus and literature. Hannah is the student body president and president of the National Honor Society and member of the Beta Club. She attends Macedonia Baptist Church of Kingstown. Hannah serves as a student fellow at the Math Academy and hosted a blood drive at her church. She also volunteers for the American Legion World Series and is involved in the Community Potato Picking Project. After graduation, Hannah plans to attend UNC Chapel Hill and major in journalism and creative writing. The McDonald's KTC Broadcasting WhatsUpShopper.com Scholar Athlete Award is to recognize a student athlete not only for accomplishments in athletics, but also for overall achievements in the classroom and for overall school and community citizenship. The Bright Star Grill in Mount Holly wants to personally thank each of you who have served in the armed forces and those who are currently serving. We appreciate your sacrifices and service. We know that we as a country and family would not have the peace and safety and the religious freedom and the blessings that we have without you. Thank you again to all who have served. This Veteran Salute is brought to you by the Bright Star Grill, 205 Medora Street in Mount Holly. Online at brightstargrill.com and like them on Facebook too.
This Veteran Salute is brought to you by Crescent Structures General Contractors in Gastonia. On this Veterans Day, let us remember the service of our veterans and let us renew our national promise to fulfill our sacred obligations to our veterans and to their families who have sacrificed so much that we can live free. They who love their country best are those who strive to make it best. This Veteran Salute is brought to you by Crescent Structures General Contractors, 914 Moose Street in Gastonia, online at crescentstructures.com.
Mattress To Go in Cramerton offers their heartfelt appreciation to all of our veterans for your service to our country. Your dedication and commitment to the ideals of democracy are an inspiration to all of us. May we all work together to aspire to those ideals as a way to honor your service and sacrifice. This Veteran Salute is being brought to you by Mattress To Go, located at 202 Market Street in Cramerton. Call 704-413-1683.
only do things incredible can. Cause I am the seed of a chosen breed. You don't see too many like me. Cause I am one of the reasons you do what you do. When you wanna be me instead of you. Cause I am still on beat. Showing love to the streets. Come on, you know me. Cause that's who I am.
And good morning, and welcome to another Saturday morning sports talk with Kevin Hastings, Tom Stefani, Terry Reinhardt, and joining us this morning, our very own Robbie Roop is in the booth with the guys this morning to talk a little sports, a little more football, a little bit of playoff, the usual, while I'm here just sitting, trying to tone them out.
And it's all brought to you by Shelby Heating and Air. Give them a call, 704-487-7877. Check them out online, shelbyheating.com, for all your heating and air needs. Thank you, Kevin.
Good morning, JP. Hey, how about JP? What did you do this morning?
I hope y'all appreciate I got up earlier so I could go get y'all breakfast.
Thank you very much, JP. I enjoyed my McGriddle. I haven't had a McGriddle in a while. That was a delicious McGriddle. I think somebody else got a McGriddle. Was
that
it
would
you,
be
Terry?
me.
That was
no,
you. Yeah,
that wasn't me.
That was me.
JP, appreciate that, man.
Yeah, that was.
Because I can remember me going to Mitchum's forever.
Yeah.
You did.
And I probably only got congratulated for doing that maybe 3 times.
Terry,
Out of
I brought
what,
you all kinds of stupid.
7 years or 8 years
I
or
brought you
9
all-
years
all
or
kinds
however
of-
many times we went there.
I brought you all kinds of.
So you
cheap flea market
appreciate when
NC
somebody
State
says
stuff.
thank you.
I did.
See, Rob, we would invite you more, but you've seen you've been here 15 minutes and see the childishness
I'm just
from
gonna-
from
I
your
mean,
left.
come
gonna
on.
stay out
From
of
your
it.
left.
No lie. We do appreciate you, JP.
Oh my goodness.
I told him it's a long ways out of my way.
Well, next week we'll have to give out gold stars. Tom, will you bring some from your classroom for these two?
I
fellas?
will. I'll bring some gold stars.
Tom, I know Rob. I think Rob get some from Hannah and tell him to bring some smiley faces.
Absolutely. You can get some
Moisture
smiley
down
faces.
in
That's
it.
right. I got some at work. I could put.
I'm sure you.
I don't know. I think this group would appreciate scratch and sniff a little bit more.
Oh, man, scratch and sniff. I hadn't heard that in a while. Used to have a whole book of those. Remember, I used to collect them. You stick them in there.
Here's my question, because I know, Kevin, you joined the 40 Club. Scratch and sniff takes a whole different meaning once you get that age right.
Depends if you've lost your smell.
But they used to be kind of like, remember the silly bands you did? You were in
yeah.
the silly
Yeah.
bands. The scratch and sniff were like those. You had a whole book of them. You'd stick them in there, and then about after 2 or 3 days, you couldn't smell them anymore. You say, got to get another
Whoever
one.
come out with that stuff had a good thing, and they made multi-millions of dollars.
And then it just went away. Kids don't do it anymore.
That's right.
But still, that person got rich.
Yeah, whoever came up with it. I remember my little book.
The little twirly things or whatever they call
Yeah.
them. that used to
Oh,
spin.
fidget spinners.
Yeah. I mean,
The gag of the day. Are we going to watch this NASCAR silliness that you guys are arguing back and
we're
forth
not
about?
arguing about it. Carl
We're
Edwards
definitely
did it.
going to watch it.
Carl Edwards
we're
did that
definitely
in
gonna
way
watch this.
back.
No, he didn't. Good morning, everybody. Saturday morning sports talk. If you didn't know, every Saturday morning we get up and talk about all the local sports and that we have. A little bit of local sports, then we talk NBA, NFL, Major League Baseball, NASCAR, and any other thing silly that does come across. I skipped on my NFL, NCAA sports.
Well, on the schedule today is NASCAR,
golf
high
sometimes
school,
not.
Major League, the World Series, NFL, NCAA.
Well, that's the
NCAA.
same as last week. But there is no, I can't just say PGA anymore, guys. We have to say professional golf, right?
The Live Tour.
Yeah. Is it live or live?
I don't know.
I don't know either. I haven't heard anybody say it actually on TV. But Rob, did you watch the race this weekend?
I did.
So I just want to apologize again, Rob, that you're wasn't in this text group. But Terry poo-pooed Ross Chastain and said that happens every weekend.
It does.
Every weekend, Rob. Every weekend, Rob. Feel free to just laugh at him. I mean, I'm saying
No, he don't finish what I said. You know what I'm saying?
Oh,
That's
I
the
was looking
problem,
for it.
Rob.
I'll find it in a second.
Rob, well, let him get to it because I said so. He passed 4 or 5 cars on the last lap. Did he do it in a different way? Yeah, he did. That's what everybody's out there trying to do. But my deal was to him what Christopher Bell done was way more important than what Ross Chastain done. Because what Christopher Bell done, he was not going to get in. He was not going to make it unless he won. So he had 37, 38 cars he passed to get out front and win the race because that's the only way he's going to get in. Ross Chastain, all he done was pass a few cars on the last lap to make it in. That's all he did. No big deal. We do this all the time. That's what you're supposed to do.
So the guy that win did not pass 37 cars in one lap, Terry. Let's back that up.
Well, still, he had 37 cars. This guy only passed 4 or 5 to make it okay.
Tom,
so you did good.
Tom, did you ever see it?
You did good.
I was trying to look it up that night, and I guess YouTube didn't have it quite yet, so I kept trying to find it.
So basically, for the folks on the radio, Chastain put the Days of Thunder outside pass, but you know he added a little Cars, a little a couple of other different movies all into one time. So basically, he needed 2 spots extra to get in the playoffs. Danny Hamlin was ahead of him. He got up to 4 points ahead of him. If Chastain ties and him, he gets the tiebreaker. Now he says, remember, the winner, he did. Terry's right. The guy that won the race had to win to get in.
He's done it twice in this thing.
He has.
Yeah, he has.
Now that makes him a good betting person to win today. I mean, this weekend, I would say, wasn't it, Terry?
Well, I hope so.
But Chastain, Tom, goes in. He crossed. I was watching the interview yesterday, him and all the champions, and he says they cross they get the white checker, and is Larry McReynolds his crew chief? Because he said McReynolds at one point.
I don't think Larry McReynolds.
He came out of retirement's been working with somebody, Terry. I can't remember who it was.
I don't know. That's a good question.
But I'll pull that up real quick. But but anyway, Chastain says they cross the white. And his crew chief says you got to get 2 more, and he said I'm downshifting down in 1 and 2, and I said 2 more. I got to get 2 more, and he said He said you mean like as in like to get in or we're out, and he said you need 2 more spots or we're out of the championship, and he said right there on the backstretch at that point, he decided to just slam it and go. And they don't put it in 5th gear at Martinsville at all. So he put it in 5th gear, Tom, stomped on the gas, and let go of the steering wheel. And he passed the other cars around turns 3 and 4 at 50 miles per hour faster than they were going.
He was up in the wall.
Right. He let go of the steering wheel.
He's just lucky nobody was up there.
And he slingshot.
That's true, too.
And rode around.
He'd have run over.
Well, right, Terry, it's racing. And
yeah, right. Then I'd have got
out.
out of my car, and me and him had a little scuffle.
He passed them at 50 miles per hour.
I just saw what he did. I mean, he tore up the car.
No, he didn't. The tires did not lose air. It is sitting there on pit road the same day. They talked about this on the post race show in this week. It did not tear the car up. It's still running. Everything's working on it. They wanted to use it this weekend. The NASCAR Hall of Fame wants to confiscate it and put it in the Hall of Fame so everybody can see it where he rip the sides off. So they're going to put this big display.
I will say the craziest comment from him after it happened was he said, well, it was a move I tried on the video game a couple years back and it worked. So
Denny Hamlin, did you see what he had said previous? So you remember when we was doing iRacing, right? Mm-hmm. So when they were racing at Martinsville, Denny, they've got him recorded. They went back on. He told someone to do this. He told him to ride the wall. It works. So Denny has done it in practice on the iRacing at Martinsville. And everybody's like, well, they're going to try this. No, it doesn't work that way. It's a perfect little paperclip to slingshot you around this way. So he knew it would work, and then he did it to him. And then Hamlin gets out of the car with the biggest pouty face in the history of pouty faces, like what just happened, and I about peed myself laughing when he got out of the car.
So Ross Chastain didn't win the race.
No.
He
and
finished
this is why Terry's mad.
No.
Okay.
He didn't
He
win
finished
nothing.
4th, Tom.
He qualified.
Yes, he had to get the spots to qualify for the championship.
Okay.
You know what's
The
going to
other
happen,
guy had
Tom.
to win the race to qualify for the championship.
You know what's going to happen.
And
I'm just flat out telling you what's going to happen.
Chastain's going to win.
Denny Hamlin, Kyle Busch will not let him win a
Kyle
championship.
Busch won't make 3 laps before his
I'm
car
telling you.
blows. His car blows.
One of them will take him out.
Who was in the DeWalt car that won?
That's
Christopher
Bell.
That's Christopher
What
Bell.
he did was way more impressive than what Chastain did. But the problem I had with it is that's the only person they wanted to talk to. I'm like, what about the guy sitting over here? All he had to do was win.
Terry.
He had to win.
Terry.
If Chastain would have been in that spot, he wouldn't have won.
All right.
He would have never won.
Again, Tom, who had the best car, Terry?
Christopher Bell.
Okay, then. So he didn't do anything amazing. Who had the best tires in the best spot on the restart? Christopher Bell. He had the highest start with 4. It was expected of him to win once that all started back. Nobody in the history of the world thought that we were about to watch the greatest racing move in history.
That's not the greatest racing move. Carl Edwards tried that way back.
And it didn't work.
You know.
And Carl Edwards didn't try that, Terry. He dive bombed.
Well,
he
I'm
didn't
just
ride
telling
the rail
you.
all the way around.
It's
Tom,
been tried
he rode
before.
the rail. We're going to watch it.
Yeah, I watched
it. It has never been
I just
tried
wa-
before.
I watched
It's
it.
never been run before.
I watched it. Yeah, it was kind of.
This is awesome.
He's crazy.
When they show him you get a close up when he slingshots coming around 3 and 4. That is just the best shot ever. One of the fans had it, and the guys going crazy. Here's the crew chief watching as he comes around. Go, 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 and he needed 2 more spots, and he got it.
And you talk about me. Look at that dude over here, that great big 300-pound guy. Like he's a little kid.
He's going 50 miles per hour faster than everybody. Bam, bam, bam. And there's Denny Hamlin. Bah!
Wow.
That's awesome.
But he didn't win the race.
And Terry's mad.
But we're more worried about what he done.
Tom,
like it was the greatest thing
it
ever.
was.
It was not.
It was.
It was not.
It's pretty impressive. So did Denny Hamlin get knocked out?
Yes. That
Wow.
knocked Denny out of the playoffs and passed him right there on the last
Wow.
lap.
You remember what they all said a few races back? Denny Hamlin said he'll not win a championship. So now he has no chance. He knows he's going to finish 5th. What do you think?
I think Ross Chastain's the best driver in NASCAR.
Okay, well, he'll find out tomorrow.
What
Let
do you
him
think,
be up
Rob?
at the front.
What do you think, Rob?
I tell you what, it like I said, it's a great move, but yeah, I think his name's marked.
It's been marked
for tomorrow's race for sure.
I can watch this all day long.
You mean he might be pulling that car out of the wall? Is that what
Yeah, I
you're
think
saying?
there's a good chance.
If he's up at the front and it's the last end of the race,
they're so mad.
Hell
They
no.
think they should wreck.
I'm surprised he didn't get black flagged.
For what?
he didn't do anything wrong.
Thank you.
I mean,
Thank
he
you.
didn't.
There
He
he goes.
didn't.
Look at the car.
I'll give him that much credit. He did nothing wrong.
What's the rule, Tom? Don't hit the wall.
The only problem I would ever have out of him doing that
What are they going to do?
is
I
if
don't know.
I would have been in front
What
of
does
him
NASCAR say,
and he
J-Lo?
would have hit me, buddy, I'll see you in a minute.
Well, that's fine. Any of them could have blocked him.
I mean, so
Are you
what they
allowed to
going to do?
block Rob?
All they're going to do is
Are
suspend
you
you
allowed to
for
block?
one game,
For what?
for one race. That's all they'd do to you, one race.
Look at this.
That's Bubba.
50 miles per hour. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5,
If-
6, 7, 8 cars.
To me, though, the best thing this got everybody talking.
Oh, it did.
If I'm NASCAR,
This is
hey,
awesome.
hey, this is great, baby. I've got everybody talking right now.
I could just watch that all day long.
It just seemed like the friction of the wall would have slowed him down, but it was like a slingshot, I guess.
The shape of that, it's a paperclip, Tom.
Yeah.
So when you go in there, you ride that wall full speed. And he's up against it. He's just going to come slingshot around, and that's what he did. And that's why he said he let go of the steering wheel. He didn't want to break his arms or anything. It's just up again.
Yeah.
So if he's at Charlotte or somewhere else, then it's not shaped that way.
Right.
Or
You can try.
Darlington,
Yeah.
he'd destroy us.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Which is it?
Darlington,
One
yeah.
of them is it New Hampshire, Dover? One of them's got a stick out out of turn 3 or 4. You
Well, they
couldn't do
think-
it there. You just. But yeah, I mean, perfect situation, perfect timing. Now, what they may rethink, Terry, is having Martinsville as the cutoff race, if that's the case, because nobody's going to do that if that's the middle race, right? He's not going to do that if that's the middle race of the 3 race cutoff.
You're right.
So simple fix: don't make Martinsville cut off. Nobody will do that next year.
I want it to stay.
Next year, you're going to have about 4 guys up there behind
doing
each other.
it all at one time. That's it.
No, what you would have, you'd probably have just the 2. You would have Hamlin do the same thing, and maybe whoever's trying to pass Christopher Bell for the win. You'd have whoever's going for the win. But if Hamlin, if they would be like watching Bell, whoever's behind you, because that's what that was. He needed those 4 spots in one lap, and so that's what that was. Let's get around him.
I mean, I
And he
give
wasn't
him
even going for
credit
the win
for what
for
he
it, so.
did, but it wasn't the greatest move of that race. But that's the only guy we wanted to talk to.
The greatest move of the race.
That's
Harry.
not. Christopher
It's
Bell
the greatest
winning
move of all
twice
time.
when you are eliminated is the greatest move that's happened.
They're going to make a movie about this, Terry. They're not going to make no movies about Christopher Bell. No.
If Christopher Bell wins tomorrow,
Days of Thunder 2 will have
they
this movie
will
in it.
make a movie about
Good
that.
grief, Terry. Who does he race for anyway? Is this why you
Joe
like Christopher
Gibbs.
Bell? There we go. 20 minutes in, Tom.
There you go.
Yep, there it is. Yep.
Jeez. All right, well, how about the biggest news of the week, real quick, in NASCAR is the 7-time champion Jimmy Johnson returns to NASCAR.
For a few races.
Okay, Terry. I swear, Kyle Busch could not change his diaper. Just get off that or hold his jock strap. So Jimmy Johnson, the GOAT, Terry, comes back and he will be racing in a few select races, but he comes back as a owner with Richard Petty Motorsports, and this is just perfect for me. Like, family and myself were Richard Petty fans, and then we moved to Johnson his rookie year after told you that Dale Earnhardt died. We pulled for Gordon because he was beating Earnhardt for a few years, and then when Dale died, that was Jimmy's rookie year, and started pulling for Jimmy. And so a perfect marriage between Johnson and Petty for me. We go to the races now since Jimmy retired, Terry. I would pull for the 43. My son's still pulling for the 48. And so, that hell of a fun father-son with that. So now they don't know which number they haven't announced which number he'll drive yet. Few options, 40 or 44 or 84. He drove the 44. Was that Busch car, Terry? That was? Do you remember?
Could have been. I'm not going to say off the top of my head.
Excuse me, let me pull it up. But anyway, Johnson and Petty was already. Petty's not a majority owner anymore. It's who's GES? Ganassi?
Mm-hmm.
Is that what that is, or am I wrong about that? Johnson, Petty, GMS Racing. So part owner, but he is going to race a few wet races next year. Terry said Daytona, definitely. I would expect races like I guess he would do Talladega too, wouldn't he?
Yeah, why do you and I ain't got anything wrong with what Jimmy's doing. No, I just don't. I mean, I got my own opinion, but I don't have anything doing with what he's doing. Why do you let a driver come back and do partial races? What does that accomplish?
Terry, when teachers retire, they come back and teach one class after they're retired, right?
Well, that's teachers.
This is racing. Law enforcement will come back and they'll maybe work a ball game.
Tom, I
when
didn't
they're
ask
retired.
you to give me no answer like that. But anyway,
I'm just telling you're asking me.
You're not to prove me wrong.
You're asking me, do retired people come back part time?
he's not.
And that's
he's
just a
still
fact.
racing.
Retired people come back part time. Why does it matter if it's NASCAR or it's teaching a school? What's it matter?
No,
Same
I think
thing.
the bottom line is this: he couldn't race in Indy, so I have to go back over here hoping I can get a ride again.
He's so silly.
He is. I mean, it's like
Rob, you have to know when he's full of crap, and this is one of them. So he, jeez. Terry, how many 50-year-old IndyCar drivers are out there winning races? Isn't he older than Andretti and all of them were before when they retired? So he didn't grow up driving IndyCar.
I'm glad he's back. I mean,
he drives loose cars better than anyone who's ever drove a loose car. And that he started on dirt, racing dirt bikes and the trucks. Tommy, you say he flipped his truck more than he finished the races in those Baja things that they used to race.
Why would you go race if you're not racing for a championship?
Terry, he's retired. First of all, you know the answer to this. NASCAR will not allow him. Rob, my conspiracy theory is they will not let anyone win 8 championships.
Right.
Jimmy won 7th. All of a sudden, Hendrick's car stopped working for 3 years. Immediately after he won his 7th, the Hendrick's car stopped working altogether. And then I think they forced him out, pushed him out, and didn't want him to win in 8th. Whether he would have or not, I'm not saying, but I do not think that NASCAR, it's way better for them to market 777 with those 3 than it is, hey, here's Jimmy Johnson, and he might have be better than the other 2. Okay, we don't want to say that out loud part, but, here we go.
Never.
Terry, how many cars did he win in? 5.
No,
How many
never.
systems did he win in? 5. 5 different cars, 5 different systems. It's Gallagher racing, not Ganassi. They will move forward with Eric Jones and Gragson in the full-time roster still next year. So Noah Gragson was joining Petty anyway. Johnson's 47 with a total of 83 victories. Terry, let's see. Where do you think he's coming back? We'll say Daytona, definitely. I'm 100% bet, guys, he's going to be in North Wilkesboro next year. He's got a 10-year exemption for that racing already. So get ready. I'm doing my best to beg for those tickets. Well, I want to see Jimmy Johnson up in North Wilkesboro racing. I sit there in college wishing that they could come to North Wilkesboro and see him.
With the success he's had at Charlotte, does he race at Charlotte?
So here's the deal with Petty. Terry, maybe you'll agree. They do way better on short tracks, and they do good on short tracks and restrictor plates. The half mile and a half program's not there, but they've been better. You can't say they've been bad.
Though, if you're gonna get yourself better, well, you put a Jimmy Johnson in that car.
Yeah, but do you? Here's the thing: you don't put him in that car to finish 10th, though, do you, Terry?
No.
So Dover, Martinsville, the races he's dominated, write those two down, write Daytona down, maybe Talladega because of the restrictor plate race you can win. He might not want to go 210 miles per hour or whatever it is. He might want to. It's easier to get hurt and wrecked at Talladega. Now, Terry, he might have one wreck in this new car and be like, I'm done with that.
That's what I'm saying.
He might
think about what's happened to a lot of the guys this year.
All these drivers, nobody says it's safe.
Yeah.
They say it hurts when you hit the wall, and it's just it's not good. So that's one thing I do worry about. If you slamming the wall at Daytona, how they feel about everybody else.
Concussion protocols they've had.
I think he might want to try some of these other things that he hasn't done. Did he ever race the road? He raced the Roval, the first one. But some of these other tracks that they've been opening, maybe was it Nashville and some of these other ones that he hasn't raced before, I would guess maybe, but short tracks and restrictor plates.
I'm like you, though, the North Wilkesboro race would be.
He's definitely doing that.
Monster.
I don't see why that wouldn't be. He even hinted at that when they announced it. He responded, I have a 10-year exemption for this. Hint, hint. So he was ready for that. Terry, I want to see him in the 43. But it doesn't look like it's going to happen because that's the full-time car. So they've got to have they're going to have a third part-time car like Terry was talking, 40, 44, or 84. So, all right, this weekend, let's pull up the championship contenders.
This is it, right?
This is it.
This is it. Championship contenders. Chase Elliott.
Are you glad, Tom?
Christopher
No,
Bell.
I'm fine. I enjoy the silly arguments you guys have.
Chase Elliott, Christopher Bell, Joey Logano, and Ross Chastain, and I know Terry doesn't like 3 of them. So I know who he's picking.
Yeah. Is that not strange?
Terry's going
of all the people.
So it's Logano, Chastain.
Ross Chastain, Christopher Bell, Chase Elliott, and
I
Joey
got the
Logano.
Small guy.
Yeah, Chase Elliott.
Terry's got the 10-year-old in that picture. He's going to Christopher Bell. Tom, who you got?
Chase Elliott.
Rob.
Chase Elliott.
Ross Chastain's going to send boys.
Give Joey
So
Logano
whoever
even
finishes
nod?
the highest amongst those 4 wins the championship.
Yes.
Okay.
Terry, I think Logano's going to win the race. But I'm picking Ross Chastain. It's just his year. It's going to be fun. They're going to win the race. I'm going to say this. I think Chastain can win and should win.
Chastain's not winning the race.
But look, I don't think any one of them is going to wreck it. Do you think somebody's going to wreck him? And like Kyle Busch ain't going to wreck him this week.
Denny Hamlin
He'll get him next. Kyle get him next.
Yeah,
Denny
Hamlin
might.
will.
He's just he's so far down my list of he's just not a good human being. I don't think anymore. I mean, what is he stopped Alex Bowman from spinning
We're talking
out.
about a guy that you're talking about that wrecked everybody from Gibbs Racing.
Who'd he wreck?
Chastain.
When?
Oh my Lord, that dude when he first come in there, that's all he did was wreck everybody.
Here we go.
But anyway,
Poor guy. All right, JP, you ready to go for break? Yes, sir. All right. We'll be back in just a few minutes. KDCBroadcasting.com.
Check out the Fall Service Call Special from Shelby Heated and Air. Shelby Heated and Air is now offering a Fall Service Call Special of just $55. But that's not all. Get up to $750 with a special Shelby Heated and Air discount on qualifying systems. Call today at 704-487-7877 and schedule your $55 service call appointment. Shelby Heated and Air. Online at shelbyheating.com. See their page at whatsupshopper.com and like them on Facebook too.
Cakes and cookies, toys and gifts, Christmas at your fingertips. It's the shopping event of the season, the Southern Christmas Show, November 10th through 20th at the Park Expo and Conference Center. Enjoy a winter wonderland and find the magic of the season with frosty decor galore. Plus, shop hundreds of booths to find one-of-a-kind gifts for everyone on your list. Buy early and save on tickets at southernChristmasShow.com.
Let's go to the Southern Christmas Show.
The NASCAR Xfinity Series.
Here they come down to the line. Green flag goes in the air.
Heads west to Phoenix Raceway.
Trouble in turn one now. A car goes sliding down to the inside.
Where four-wheel drive for the series crown.
Dominating season continues for Noah Gragson here at the Homestead Miami Speedway.
It's the NASCAR Xfinity Series Championship.
Saturday afternoon at 5:30 on Carolina Country WCSL. 92.9 FM, 1590 AM, and online at kdcbroadcasting.com.
United Bank in Gastonia, Lincoln, Forest City, and Clover wants to take this time and thank the veterans for their service. Without you, our country would not be the America it is today. Thank you for putting your lives on the line, sacrificing time with your family, and risking your own well-being to help keep us safe at home. You're all true heroes. This Veteran Salute is being brought to you by United Bank with offices in Gastonia, Clover, Lincoln, and Forest City.
The 30th anniversary sale continues at Essener Auto Sales in Shelby. Come check them out all year long with some great anniversary specials. Find out how easy it can be for you to be one of their satisfied customers. Yes, 30 years ago, Susie and Richie started Essener Auto Sales, striving to give you the best deal possible on a quality pre-owned vehicle. See them today at 417 South Post Road in Shelby, online at srautosales.com. See their page at whatsupshopper.com and like them on Facebook too. That's Essener Auto Sales in Shelby.
Join us for our live Sunday morning church services at 9:30 a.m. on WCSL. It's a live church service from Anthony Grove Baptist Church in Krause. And at 11 a.m. on WCSL, it's a live church service from First Baptist Church in Cherryville. And at 11 a.m. on WHS, it's a live church service of the Calvary Baptist Church in Shelby.
We often take for granted the very things that most deserve our gratitude, and that includes our veterans. This Veteran Salute is brought to you by Parker Family Feed in Bellwood. Americans' veterans deserve the very best that we can give them. They have earned it. They have fought so we can be free. Salute our men and women in uniform. This Veteran Salute is being brought to you by Parker's Family Feed, 121 Carpenter's Grove Church Road off Highway 18 North in Bellwood. Like them on Facebook too.
And we're back on Saturday Morning Sports Talk with Kevin and the gang. They haven't turned themselves on yet, so they don't know that I'm bringing the show back.
And it's brought to you by Shelby Heating and Air. Call them 704-487-7877. Check them out online, shelbyheating.com. Kevin.
Well, Rob didn't know he's going to have to learn gang signs today when he came to Cherryville, but
KTC Mafia, baby.
Welcome to the Ville. Astros up 3-2. A lot of broken hearts in this room, Robbie. Y'all can't be a third place team. Come on. What's y'all's problem?
Took too much out. Mets and Braves took too much out of each other.
Well, let me ask you about, Tom's team won the situation and defended it. I can't defend it because we played awful defense, and still the two guys that played awful defense got gold gloves. So what do I know? We blew it to the Phillies, but what do you think about we played 162. You won a division, you get 2 games. We played the Pirates more this year than we got to play in the division. And we've talked about the 3 games. It's not right, but whatever.
To me, 3-game series in baseball are silly.
It
needs to at least be a 5. 3 games are silly to me.
I have the problem with that too, Rob. My whole dealing behind that is all 3 games was at one place.
Right.
I mean, if you're going to do it fair, go Atlanta, Houston, back to Atlanta or something. You know what I'm saying?
I was going to say, the Cardinals losing is indefensible at home. It's just the fact of the matter is that baseball, like say the Athletic Association forces Highland Tech to play Shelby. Baseball forces us to play the Pirates 20 times, as opposed to, hey, we could back that up and have a better postseason and have a full 7-game series like the NBA does with their 7-game series, and then instead of this 2-3. But
now this coming season, your division games will be limited because you're going to play everybody in the league starting next year. So
you think that's fair?
Why wouldn't it be?
I still think
I know everything in the world changes.
Everybody's
well,
if everybody's doing
162 is still too many.
Right.
So.
Everybody's doing DH. That's the thing. Well, Meatloaf, like the Meatloaf song, they'll do anything. They'll change any rule in baseball, but they will not change 162. Yeah. They'll change any rule. We got ghost runners, Rob.
And they're not going away according to Manfred.
Babe Ruth's out there still in second, and we won't change from 162.
They're doing what we used to do in the backyard.
They will look at empty stadiums for 40 games in Pittsburgh and Kansas City, and no offense, Terry, or any of these other small market teams. In Tampa, you'll look at nothing but an empty stadium for half the season, and they will not cut that for nothing. And it's just
It's like,
just insane.
when the Braves went out to I believe it was Oakland, and there was 4,000 people in that stadium for a game like that. I mean, really?
Yeah.
I mean, come on.
Well, the Astros up 3-2 right now. All kinds of cheating in baseball. Every time I look up, somebody's wiping something off a pitcher's nose or ears or hats. So who you guys? What's going on in this series? Who you guys got? Obviously, Astros back up 3-2. They just keep on winning. And Dusty Baker and the gang, Tom, they got through you guys, right? Didn't you play the Astros?
No, we did not. We beat Tampa Bay and then got beat by New York in 5, and then New York got swept.
Right.
So I always thought, it's like, well, it doesn't really matter if we went to Houston. The cheaters are going to win. I really wanted Philly to win this series. I couldn't believe the other day where they got no hit, and it was a combined no hitter. But I know Terry says it's been back and forth, but you just don't get no hit in a World Series game. Not in a World Series game. So, but let's see if they can bounce back from that. They've got to win the last 2, and they're going to have a hard time doing that against Houston.
Do you not think from the Game 3 when Harper and them were really understanding what the pitcher was doing? He is tipping every guy on his team. This is what he does if he's getting ready to throw his changeup.
Yeah.
I mean, Harper destroyed one, and then he goes right over there, and I can't think of the guy's name, but he told him what to look for.
Yeah.
And that guy saw him do it, and boom, he hits it out too.
What they were looking for, he had a higher leg kick.
Yeah, but then all of a sudden in Game 4, everything changes.
What a different picture.
Well, I mean, but I guarantee you, if you ain't got coaches that come and tell you, quit doing this stuff because this is what they're looking for now. Try something different.
You could see it. I don't know, Robert and Tom, or if y'all saw it on any of the replays or anything about him picking his leg up higher for his fastball, basically to get more. Watching it in warm ups on the internet, he threw a lot of curveballs and off speed pitches, and the guys and the Philly fans in the bullpen were that was. You've got to see some of these videos on the internet where the fans just sit there and say all kinds of things to these guys while they're warming up, and they were giving him the business per se, and he gets in the game, and then he starts. They picked up on his leg kick on his fastball, and they showed it online. And when the leg kick, boom, out of here, and the other ones were curveballs. So he was trying to get some more leverage on that. So.
Well, he might have been coached by that. I had a travel ball coach a couple of weeks ago saying, "I need to talk to you about this pitcher balking." I'm like, "What are you talking about?" He goes, "Well, he's not using the same delivery every pitch." Not making this up. Not making this up. I said, "Excuse me." He said, "Well, he broke, like, in other words, he how some pitchers, they'll go back and then throw to the plate." It's like, yeah. I was like, well, if he rocks back and then goes to the plate, it's not a balk. Yeah, but he's not doing that every time. And then I said, forgive me. I said it just like this. Forgive me if I have no idea what you're talking about. And he got mad. Well, if you're going to be like that, I'm not being rude. I have no idea what you're talking about because we're right here. What we're talking about, and any youth baseball player out there, if you pitch, if you ever have a coach tell you have to pitch the same way every time, get you a new coach. I mean, it's like
so. What you say? If I've got a kid that can throw over the top or can drop to a 3/4 arm delivery, right. If he changes that arm angle. Wait a minute! Hey, we got to cut this out right here. Ball right there. Ball.
I mean, that's what I mean because he tried to say I think what he's trying to say is you couldn't rock back and go to the plate. Yeah, you can. You can rock back and go to the plate.
He would have, but he'd have hated me on the mound, Tom. I did because I couldn't throw as hard as the flamethrower, so I did every almost illegal thing you could on the mound.
I mean, it's
as
just
close as I can make it. I made it hard for the umpires. I did.
It's one of those. It's one of those things, man. Well, it's just funny that you guys would bring that out because it's exactly what pitchers are taught. Don't do the same thing every time. because then they'll pick up when you're going to first, when you're going to second.
Right.
You know, you got to know some things. You know, like if you kick the leg back and you break the plane, now you got to go to the plate.
Right.
You know, there's things like that. Now, if he was arguing something like that, but he was going to the plate anyway. Now, if he'd argued, well, you brought the leg back and you broke the rubber and then you went to second, well, you can't do that. Okay, you know, all right, I'll watch that. But it's just funny. He can't do that. Why? He's not doing it every time. I was like, okay, why don't we just put a pitching machine out there instead of a pitcher and just be done with it? I mean, it's just, you know, it's kind of funny because, you know, in baseball, you know, your basic baseball training, you know, pitcher, you're going to learn things like that. And it's funny to see guys still breaking those rules at the professional level. Yeah. You know, tipping what you're going to do on the next pitch. So, and even as umpires, we do that because when I'm out there, I'm like, okay, I want to know when he's going to first. You're like, well, every time he does this, he goes to first. So you're on top of it, you know. So you're trying to do the same thing that the players are doing. So I love it when a pitcher does the same thing every time because then, well, I know what he's doing. When he does this, he's going to first. When he does this, he's going home. But a lot of times they won't. Like the good ones, like if they're taking a long pause, then all of a sudden it's a short pause. They're like, oh, better watch that. He might have bought, but he's like, he throws you off a little bit. But that's what he's trying to do. He's trying to throw everybody off. So even at the major league level, I mean, you know, pitchers got to work on that stuff because if you don't change up your looks, you're in trouble. Especially major league hitters, Terry. You know, I mean, major league hitters, they study you. They study you. They know what you're going to do. So,
Rob, you guys played the Phillies 19 times this year, and none of that. Y'all could have went 19-0 in that. Win the division, and that doesn't count because they get in the playoffs and win a 2-game series against St. Louis and then beat you guys. You can't blame yourself for losing, but. It's just, I don't know. It's in the NFL, you lose to a team one time, you might face them in the playoffs. NBA, you lose to them. They only play each other max 4 times if you're in the West or if you're in the same conference. So, but to play to a team 19 times, and they say every one of those matters, but this time we're going to play 3.
Right.
Yeah.
It's so, I don't know. Who you guys, are the Astros going to finish them off tonight or what, guys? What you guys
Who's
got, Rob?
pitching?
You know? Valdez and Wheeler. Valdez for the Astros, Wheeler for the Phillies. Wheeler's got a 7.0 ERA. Vasquez.
This one's in Philly, right?
A 1.
Is this one in Philly?
No.
It's in Houston.
Houston.
So you're telling me Philadelphia's got to go into Houston and win 2 games to win the series?
They'll win 1. They'll win today and lose tomorrow.
And they're going to have, because, you know, the Eagles played the Texans Thursday night. So, you know, those Philly fans stayed in Houston. They've bought up every off-market ticket that's available out there. So if there's ever going to be a crowd in Houston that could help the Phillies, it's going to be this first game. I think this series is going 7.
55% on the Astros at home.
I think I like the Astros to close it out. Even though I hate the Astros, I don't think Philly can recover from being no hit. I mean, they didn't hit it well last night either. I mean, they got a couple of games to get the bats together, but I just think Houston's got all the momentum in the series, and it's going to end tonight.
All right, Terry, what'd you say?
I said Game 7.
All right, we'll be back in a few minutes, JP, on KTCBroadcasting.com.
Check out the fall service call special from Shelby Heated and Air. Shelby Heated and Air is now offering a fall service call special of just $55. But that's not all. Get up to $750 with a special Shelby Heated and Air discount on qualifying systems. Call today at 704-487-7877 and schedule your $55 service call appointment. Shelby Heated and Air. Online at shelbyheating.com. See their page at whatsupshopper.com and like them on Facebook too. What other pre-owned vehicle dealership can offer this? Pre-owned sales, a complete service department, and a complete body shop. The only one I know is Oak Grove Auto Sales, Service, and Body Shop in Kings Mountain. They can do it all. Check with their automotive repair shop for all kinds of automotive repair. Plus, they sell tires too. And from a scratch to a big fender bender, they can help with that in their body shop. And on the lot now, take a look at the Sharp 2012 Ford Fiesta, priced at only $89.95. Oak Grove Auto Sales, Service, and Body Shop, 522 Oak Grove Road, Kings Mountain, online at oakgroveauto.com.
The NASCAR Cup Series.
They are off and running and heading side by side up to turn number 1.
Championship 4. Head to Phoenix Raceway.
Trouble turn 2. Denny Hamlin breaks loose. He's into the outside retaining wall.
For the opportunity to claim NASCAR's ultimate pride.
He's back now, and now he is a Cup Series champion in 2021.
It's the NASCAR Cup Series Championship.
Sunday afternoon at 2 o'clock on Carolina Country WCSL. 92.9 FM, 1590 AM, and online at kdcbroadcasting.com.
Country Gold with Terry Clark.
Hi, I'm Terry Clark, inviting you to join me for Country Gold. Each week, we play your favorites from the 80s and 90s and check in with the stars who made them. Don't miss out on the fun.
Join Terry Clark every Thursday afternoon at 1 o'clock on Carolina Country WCSL, 92.9 FM, 1590 AM, and online at kdcbroadcasting.com.
A hero is someone who has given his life or her life to something bigger than oneself. America's veterans embody the ideals upon which America was founded more than 230 years ago. And today we salute them. This veteran salute from everyone at the Shop Auto Body and Repair Shop and TSI Garage in Cherryville. Americans must never forget our veterans' sacrifices. Again, this veteran salute is from the Shop Auto Body and Paint Shop, 1034 Marys Grove Road in Cherryville, and TSI Garage, 806 West Church Street in Cherryville. Flooring America in Kings Mountain and Carpet One Interiors in Gastonia know that the freedoms we have now have come with hard work and dedication from our veterans to our country. May God bless you and your families. We thank you so much for your service. We recognize your efforts and give you the utmost respect to you, our veterans. This veteran salute is from everyone at Flooring America, 602 Slater Street in Kings Mountain, and Carpet One Interiors, 2757 East Ozark Avenue in Gastonia.
This is Senator Ted Alexander.
And I'm Brad Overcash, candidate for the State Senate in Gaston County.
And we approve this message. While we both have no direct opponent during the November 8th election, we do need your help voting for judges at every level in North Carolina to uphold the common sense conservative laws we pass and you have voted for regarding voter ID, capping the state income tax, and election integrity.
All of North Carolina needs your support by backing Trey Allen and Rich Dietz for the state Supreme Court, and Donna Stroud, John Tyson, Michael Stadding, and Julie Flood for the Court of Appeals.
These candidates will not legislate from the bench. Instead, they will interpret the law as written.
And for the listeners in Gaston County, please support conservative judicial candidate Justin Davis for Superior Court.
Early voting starts October 20th for the November 8th election. Paid for by Friends of Ted Alexander
and the Overcash Committee.
Thanks, and God bless you.
And we're back on Saturday Morning Sports Talk with Kevin and the gang.
Sorry, I'm doing a bad Hunter impression. I just want to thank Shelby Heating and Air for bringing you this, 704-487-7877, online, shelbyheating.com. Kevin.
All right, welcome back to Saturday Morning Sports Talk. I think JP said we got a caller on the phone. JP, is that correct?
Good morning.
Good morning, Coach. Coach Pruitt here on the. I guess it is. JP just nodding at me and doing sign language this morning. I guess that's who's on the phone. But good morning, Coach. Good to hear from you again. Last night, long ride. I guess you're a little tired. Up to Robbinsville and back last night. From what Danny was talking about and Matt in the post game show, seemed to say you guys looked had a decent night on offense. Just couldn't come up with a victory last night up in Robbinsville.
Yep, it was a long trip. We divided up into 3 stops, and or 3 hour or 2 stops, and had 3 1-hour trips, so to speak, and gave ourselves a little more time than the year before at Cherokee, and felt like we were really ready to play. Had a good pregame, and enjoyed our pregame meal trip up the mountain. Took a charter, of course, but no, our kids played really, really well. Honestly, if we had played like that a few other games this year, we probably wouldn't have been playing at Robbinsville last night, which would give us a better opportunity to maybe come out with a win. They're a very, very good team. I mean, I've never been to Robbinsville for a game. I've heard about it. Their stadium is quite unique. It's called the Big Oaks. There's 3 big oak trees on the bank up there on the home side, and it's just in a in a really small, confined area. I mean, that's other than the old Maiden High School, that's probably West Lincoln sideline's small too, but very, very short on the side, and the old buildings around the stadium, and just it's at the old high school, so it's really a lot like our place at Rudisill, where it's off campus, and just come out. Felt like we had a good game plan, moved the ball across the 50. I don't think we had a 3-and-out the whole game. Moved the ball across the 50. We had I think a penalty and a sack and punted, and then I think we made them run 12 plays to score. They have a real good tailback and a Cutler kid. And then their fullback returned last night, Williams kid. He's a 3-time state champion and considered one of the best, 2-time state champion, considered one of the best wrestlers in the history of the state. He's getting recruited by Penn State. He returned last night for his very first game, so he's pretty solid player, obviously. But a program that's rich in tradition with 14 state championships, and it's got it over there on the sign. And I don't know how many Smoky Mountain Conference championships. I took a picture of it, but I didn't count them. But no, our kids really played from start to finish. Probably the best game we played all year, really, for 4 quarters. It's just hard to get off the field against a team like that. We did force them to punt. I think Landon might have punted twice last night, and we finished the first half on the 2-yard line. We've done that in 3 games here of late, and we also were inside the 20 3 different times in the first half. So the score that was 14-0, and they threw a little hitch screen, and we were just not aligned right defensively, and the kid took it for a touchdown in the last 25 seconds of the first half. So it will become a 2-touchdown game, become a 3-touchdown game, and then we moved the ball from the 45 to the 50 in 2 plays, and 45 to the 2-yard line in 2 plays, and come up just a little short scoring in the first half. But battled in the second half, and just proud of our kids and their effort.
Well, Coach, a couple of you want to mention any of your seniors real quick? Why you got? I know, put you on the spot with that when I do that.
You always do that, Kevin. I mean, we got 16 seniors, so
okay,
and it's a great thing to have 16 seniors, and they're a group that accomplished a lot. I know at the end of the year when you're looking back and you're thinking about what you might not accomplish, that's an easy thing to do. But this group did play some really good football through their careers, and just really proud of how they grew, not sometimes as a group per se, but as they come along individually. I think we had some kids really step up in their career. But of course, we played most of our season without Landon Hahn, number 1, and he's planning on going to Lenore Ryan to continue his career as a baseball player. Tanner Sisk, number 2, a kid who's a 4-year kid in our program, and really come a long ways as a offensive and defensive player, and made some really big plays. Last night he caught the pass that got us down to about, inside the 15-yard line. We downed it and had 1 untimed down and got stopped at the 2 lane and got tackled at the 2. But Tanner really did some great things for our team this year. Number 5, which would be Avery. He is a kid who was involved more with our wrestling program through the years and has played some football. And last year we used him as an 8-quarter player. And this year he was pretty much one of our stalwart starters at corner and one of our better tacklers on our defense. Number 6, Cam Boland, just cannot say enough about the young man and how he has grown through his career. And one of our leading tacklers. He was, I think, our leading tackler going into the game last night, but I think he got passed by the next guy on the list, which is Colin Huss. And would like to mention that most of these guys that I'm mentioning at least play another sport at our school, and most of them play 3. So that's what you got to have at a small school like Cherryville to have success in all of your programs and not just, concentrated on one program. But Colin, I heard Danny make a comment, or somebody made a comment that Danny was keeping tackles, which I've never known Danny to keep tackles. If that's true, sorry, Danny. But just a running count, Colin probably had in the first 12 plays 7 or 8 tackles. And I'm going to do the tackle numbers here in a little bit. I did come home and do some laundry and fall asleep and there at the stadium, and then got up, went home, fell asleep again. But I think Colin's north of maybe 25 tackles last night. I mean, It was unbelievable. I put a little thing on Twitter thanking our seniors for their for their effort and leaving it all on the field. And Collins' jersey is what I took a picture of. I've never had a jersey so dirty after a football game when it wasn't wet, muddy, or whatever. It was just a dry night. His jersey, I mean, the picture really doesn't do it justice, the ground-in dirt that was on his jersey. Of course, Chase Miller is number 11, and he's been a quarterback in our program for 3 years. He didn't start as a quarterback there toward the middle of his freshman year. We moved him to quarterback, just looking forward to the future a little bit. And he obviously was a person who carried us through a lot of the games that we won this year, and then also were competitive in. Obviously, there's some games this year that we were not as competitive in, but we also tried to look at the mode of survival. It didn't ask him to quite do as much in those games as some of the other games. And then 17, Tobias Miller. Tobias is a 2-year kid in our program, and he got started his junior year. And anything we wanted to do earlier this year, I texted Tobias and said, Tobias, you want to play center, guard, tackle, or tight end? And he said, Coach, I'll play anywhere you want me to play. And he actually ended the year as our fullback. So my thought process of what Tobias would do and be was different probably than the rest. But he did a great job for us. Number 35, Bryson Huffman, who joined our program late from outside of our school. He did a great job. Elijah Gibson, number 44. Elijah, of course, was injured for most of the year with an ACL tear, and he's having surgery in the near future. But Elijah was a big part of our team, and he was another kid who went from one place to another. Last year he played some H-back, and then he went to guard and was one of our best offensive linemen. This year we put him back at H-back, and that's the position that Tobias ended up going into by the end of the year. Number 50 is Ben Street. Ben is a kid who played in our program throughout the years and had limited roles, but did a good job for our team. 51, Seth Kaler. If anybody's on the radio listening right now, they're yelling Speed because that's his nickname. And Seth is just a program kid who will do anything and everything for anybody in our program. He's a manager on our baseball team, and I believe Coach Powers got him coming out to wrestle to manage the wrestling team. And he's just the type of kid in your program that you got to have to do things well each and every day. 59, Jack Dellinger. Jack's played left tackle, right tackle for us, played some defensive line, has a desire to go to the University of Tennessee to do pre-med and also hopefully walk on the football team. And Jack was definitely one of our, if not our best offensive lineman, one of the best offensive linemen this year on our team. 60, Gage Vernon is our center. Gage come a long way through his career, had some ups and downs with snaps sometimes, and really at the end of his career figured out the best way to snap that football, and I was glad to see him keep fighting and get back into his position. Number 65, Corey Austin, played guards and tackles position, played some defense for us, but he's a starting left guard and really played very, very well. He got called for holding last night. I went back and watched the film, and he told me, he said, Coach, I held it. And then I watched the film, and I'm like, so that's not a hold compared to some of the other ones I've seen on film through the game. But with that said, he's just that type of kid that just goes to work every day, gets in the weight room, and does his job. And carried this fall, he's been carrying Amir Starr through the weight room for us and teaching Amir what it takes to be successful. Number 70, Dawson Frady. Dawson is a kid who just really is like Seth Kaler, a program kid. And Seth and Dawson both played during the COVID year, and they both didn't play last year. And it was just great to have them back around us. If I needed something done, Dawson's there, work the chains, open car doors. Coach, you need help doing anything, setting up for a meal, and Dawson is always there, just one of those kids that you're always going to remember. And then the last guy is Jabri Starr. Jabri, through COVID, stayed at home with homeschool, and he didn't play. We've always been after him to play, and he came back to school this semester and wanted to play football with his brother. And that was one of the things that he mentioned when we got ready for senior night, getting to play on the field with Amir. So just a great group of guys who have a lot of aspirations to do things after high school. And I don't think I forgot one, Kevin.
No, I think you did a great job. I've been looking at that. We've got the picture, your senior night picture, up on Twitter, and you went right down the list and did a great job, Coach. I didn't even think about it when I said that's going to be tough for you to do, and you did fantastic.
Well, we played Coach Henley and I, and his team or group of guys, his team, I call them, his field maintenance group, painted those numbers. So that gets in your mind sometimes. You can remember that. And then I couldn't tell you the number of times I get jerseys out, and we group them up into 4, so it's easy for the kids to get to them on a Thursday afternoon, and we're getting ready to go, hit the road or something. So I see them jerseys all the time, and I have more of a photographic memory, even though I'm at the back end of my career, teaching retirement here on December 21st, and then continuing hopefully with the graces of Coach Harrell and Mr. Hubers to continue coaching next year and get to coach my son. So we'll see what the Lord has for me.
Well, thank you, Coach. And if you got any other comments or anything else about the program, anything going forward that you'd like to say here?
We got a lot of holes to fill. I mean, when you have 16 seniors, so I hope these guys that are that have played this year, and we kept our JVs together and played a full JV schedule of what we could play. I hope those kids are ready and they want to do the things in the off season that means to be successful. Those are things that we always think. I mean, in retrospect, you think, well, we could have done this a little bit better and done that a little bit better. But a good group of seniors who really played great. It was great to see Landon score a touchdown last night. He'd been injured all year and had not scored a single touchdown after having such a stellar sophomore and junior season. Cam Boland has come so far when it comes to running. Last night he caught a kickoff, and you could just see it was processing in his mind. He's trying to decide if he wanted to take off or if he was waiting for a lane, and he just hesitated. And here you go, they just overwhelmed us down there. But then we get in the game, and the things that we asked him to do in the running game last night was the best he's looked all year. So to see the kids grow like that, and then Colin Huss, he's went from being a defensive back to a linebacker. To last night we moved him to free safety because of our scheme, and just to see him go from being a kid who transferred to us from West Lincoln, who really probably was considered more of a baseball player than a football player, but to have the season that he had to lead our team in tackles just speaks volumes for the kid's desire to be on the field and the type of athlete that he is and putting the kid in the right position. So I really want to thank my staff. Coach Jenkins has been with me throughout my career, and obviously for him and his family, this last year has been rough, but to have him out there and involved and be around the kids and have his jovial smile and the things that he says, the way that he jokes is just a blessing. Let's see, Tim Moss has been with me for a long time. Having him and Chapel out there has been great. We had a new coach in Will Puckett this year in a community who actually works with our Little Ironman program. Talk about me and all the stuff that I do. I couldn't imagine coaching high school football and then being involved with 2 practices for the Little Ironman and then having your Saturdays taken up. And he's also a person involved in our reserves through our military and the things that he does on the weekends. So for him to do those things is awesome. Bill Lay, who was a community coach who played at Thomas Jefferson, who played with Chapel and all those boys here in Cherryville. He was a great asset as a running back coach and a kid I think that other kids in the program can look up to and aspire to be because he's just such a great person. And then lastly, Matt Powers was involved in our program this year. We were in the summer and things were kind of slow and I needed a lot of help, and Matt jumped in full bore and did a lot of work with Scott on our defense, and just a kid where, like, when I was able to leave practice to work with my daughter on softball, I could trust that all of our coaches, but with Matt having a head coaching experience, that things would run smoothly when I wasn't there. And that's very rare for Coach Pruitt to loosen the reins on his program like that, but that was something that I did this year.
Well, Coach Pruitt, thank you giving us calls and talking to us about the program all year long. And congratulations on another good year. And I hope we'll get to talk to you some more about some more football and Go App. And I know it wasn't a good week this week, but other than that, have a good weekend. And you guys take care of you and the family, Marie and everybody.
We will. Hopefully we'll stay healthy. Landry's wrestling and got a little sick last night, and Emma's birthday's tomorrow. So I hope we're all healthy enough to be able to celebrate Emma and the family birthdays that we've had. Oh, I need to mention one other thing. Jerry Shepard was our winner of our 100 for 100 raffle. We drew it right before we left for the game, which I thought was really neat. We had the kids and the cheerleaders there with us. So, Miss Jerry, appreciate your support. And then also the Puckett family, I mentioned Will and his wife Heather. They were our $1,000 winner. And keeping it in the family, my mother-in-law, Juanita Ganell, was our third-place winner. She won $500. So appreciate everybody in the community who was supportive of our program financially through our 2 fundraisers this year. And, of course, as we move forward, I'm sure we'll be doing a few other things we've discussed. Me and Coach Moss have always discussed a golf tournament in the spring and just got to get the things organized. I think when I don't have teaching in front of me in January, February, and March, I might be able to have a little time to do some of those things. So that'll be exciting to try to do something like that. But, Kevin, appreciate you guys and your support throughout the year. I know it's been a little long today, but a good way to finish the year. And hopefully I'll talk to you again in August, and go Ironman.
All right, good luck to you, Coach. Good luck
Thank
to
you,
you.
man. Appreciate it. Bye.
All right, Rob, Terry, and Tom, why don't you guys read some scores here from last night, and then we'll set the brackets going forward.
All right, I'll start up in the left-hand corner. It was Robbinsville over Cherryville, 40-14. Cherokee defeats Starmount, 28-21. Mountain Island Charter nips Bessemer City, 16-14. It was a good ball game. Bessemer City lost by a safety in that one. Andrews crushes Highland Tech, 77-8. Their season mercifully comes to an end. East Wilkes defeats Thomas Jefferson, 44-14. And Murphy defeats Albemarle, 49-20. Chase defeats North Wilkes 74-15. Great season for Coach Cogdill, still undefeated. Next we have Robinson over West Wilkes Central 22-12. Drone over Union County. Is that what it was? Union County Cardinals? Is that a charter school? Okay. 63-13. Mitchell over who we got over there? South Davidson, 72.
Coach Pruitt brought us some
21.
donuts.
Thanks, Coach Pruitt.
No lie.
Thank you. Reedsville, 76-14 over Madison. And is that Providence Grove? Am I reading that right?
You
that
got
bottom
it.
of Providence Grove,
Yeah.
48-14 over McMichael.
It was Burns having no trouble with Moorhead last night, 62-13. Shelby defeats Forest Hills 30-13. A lot of people thought Forest Hills had a chance. They talked a lot of crap, but they lost. Salisbury over Brevard 28-16. It was Pine Lake Prep 38, West Stokes 20. Monroe no trouble with North Stanley 56-6. Lincoln in overtime goes for two and comes up with a victory over Randleman 37-36. It was Hendersonville over West Lincoln 36-29. East Surrey no trouble with Anson 42-0. It was Maiden 63, Polk County 33. It was Mountain Pleasant 28, Walkertown 13. Bunker Hill no trouble with East Davison 41-8. And Community School of Davison beats East Gaston 20-14.
Take a look at the rest of those scores. Kings Mountain gets the victory over St. Stephen's last night, 42-6. It was Smoky Mountain over Central Davidson, 48-31. West Charlotte gets the win over the Stuart Kramer Storm, 40-13. High Brighton over Southern Guilford, 32-27. It was Northwest Cabarrus over Ashbrook, 17-3. Ledford beats Freedom, 35-0. Tuscola beats Forest View, 35-14. It was East Lincoln Mustangs, 51, Ashe County 6. Oak Grove defeated West Meck 17-12. Crest Chargers won 33-7 last night over Statesville. Dudley defeated Pisgah 43-5, and it was the South Point Red Raiders over Hickory 48-13. So those are all the scores last night from the area. And Kevin able to land in the chair the right way.
All right, so brackets. I don't have them pulled up. Well, I guess I do. We'll pull up the Athletic Association's brackets. Let's see. What kind of donuts we got in there? Is that Krispy Kreme? I didn't even look. Food Line donuts. All right.
Donuts or donuts?
I didn't even look. That's why I've been down the hall. I was wondering.
Hey, before you bring us donuts, you got to tell us what you're bringing. I mean, come on. I just can't. Come on. We were going to special order something.
That was not what I was at. I can't even see them. I was wondering if they had sprinkles or something. All right. In the 1A, Eastern Randolph, number 1 seed, will host the 17 seed Mountain Heritage. Cherokee at 24 will go to Robbinsville. And they are the 8th seed. Robbinsville will host another game there. Hayesville, to the 12th seed, will go to Christ the King, the 5 seed. Number 13, North Rowan will go to Mount Airy, the 4 seed. The 14th seed, Swain County, will go to Thomasville, the 3 seed. They'll play the winner of 11 seed Mitchell at 6 seed Drone, who's only lost one game this year.
They're putting up some points.
By 1 point, and that was to East Burke in overtime.
So if you know had a chance to check out Drone's quarterback,
he's really good.
Take a look at that kid. Yeah. There was actually some rumors during the summer that he was looking at Crest or Shelby.
Really?
And
Murphy wins big. They'll host East Wilkes, the 7th seed, against the 10 seed, and the winner of that game will play the winner of Andrews, the 2 seed, against the 15 seed Mountain Island Charter Raptors. Over in the 2A, let's see if I can find you folks online, a 2A bracket. I didn't scroll down, did I? 2A, I'll be a minute on that one. Let's show you our ugly faces for a second while I do that. Okay, over in the 2A, though, Reedsville, the 1 seed, will be playing Providence Road, the 17 seed. Then you'll have Chase will be hosting Robinson. And again, like I said, I'd really like to have Chase been the other side of the bracket so we can see them play some local teams. If Chase wins, folks, you guys can get to go a trip to Reedsville. So good luck with that. Maiden advances. They'll host Mount Pleasant, the 5 seed, hosting the 21. Then the 4 seed, Community School of Davidson, hosting Bunker Hill, the 13 seed. So Community School of Davidson, the 4. If Maiden wins, folks, you Maiden fans, you would go to Community School of Davidson. If they win, you would host Bunker Hill. If they win, you guys, Terry, do you remember, was that a close game this year? I can't off the top of my head. Yeah, Coach Pruitt says about 10. It'd be about a 10-point game. I couldn't remember if it was a blowout or an actually really good game this year. So Burns hosts Shelby, 3 hosting the 19 seed. The 11 seed Pine Lake Prep will be visiting Salisbury, Matt Chapman's Salisbury Hornets. Tom, so if they do come to Burns, he may be joining you on that. All
right.
And the Pine Lake Prep at Salisbury will play the winner of Burns and Shelby. Monroe will be hosting Lincoln in the 23 seed, 7 hosting 23. And East Surrey, the 2 seed, will be hosting Hendersonville, the 15 seed. So if Lincoln and folks, if you win, you would you're going on the road no matter what, either at Hendersonville or at East Surrey. Tom, if you guys win, you're at home, obviously. If Shelby wins, they would be going to either one, Salisbury or Pine Lake Prep. So the Golden Lions, your road dogs this year. And again, remember Chase would go to Reedsville if they won over there in the 2A. Now let me get over to the 3A for you guys. In that bracket, Kings Mountain will be hosting number 17 Smoky Mountain. Is that the right one? That's the one I want. The 17 seed, the 9 High Brighton at West Charlotte, number 8. So Kings Mountain, if you win, you'll be hosting either West Charlotte or High Brighton. I'm going to guess West Charlotte on that one. What do you think? Or has High Brighton gotten better this year? I guess. Who beat them earlier this year?
Shelby beat High Brighton
Shelby
like a
drum.
drum.
Yeah, that's what I thought. East Lincoln did too. So East Lincoln
and here's my thing, guys. When we talk about brackets, I know we're talking about that Dudley South Point matchup coming up. That Southern Gifford team, the High Brighton just beat, was the 3rd place team out of Dudley's conference. And I am a firm believer in digging into schedules at this part of the year.
Oh, yeah.
I think, to me, that we're South Point's got a shot at Dudley next Friday.
Play tough schedule.
Ledford will be going to Northwest Cabarrus, the 12th seed at the 5 seed. And then Tuscola, who's only lost 1 game this year, will be going to undefeated East Lincoln in the 2nd round for the Mustangs. So that game will be on LincolnCounty.com. So East Lincoln, if you win, you'll be hosting Northwest Cabarrus or Ledford, either one. Kings Mountain will be at home all the way throughout the playoffs. Well, Robbie, y'all just might as well book a place in Greensboro this week. If you win Friday, you got to go back to Greensboro again next week, maybe.
I want to go to Belmont, baby.
But
send me to Belmont in 2 weeks.
Rob, I want to go to Belmont. But 7 words Robbie's never said in his life. He just got blurted out on Saturday. Anything can happen on a Saturday morning. He said he wants to go to Belmont in 2 weeks, Tom. So book him a room in Belmont.
I do not want to go to Belmont. I like to drive through Belmont and look at all the old, brick homes on your way to South Point. That's fine. Just keep driving past South Point. You don't want to go there.
Well, the Red Raiders go to Dudley this week. If the Red Raiders can win, they would either travel to Oak Grove or host Crest. So South Point can get a home game if they win and Crest wins as well.
Can you imagine how many people will be at that game?
That's going to be
that will be a third round game. Third round game between Crest and South Point. They will pack that place out. It'll be
correction on that maiden game. It was only a 3-point game there, Terry. Maiden 3 points. Thank you, Coach Pruitt. 36-33 on that. He got that quicker than I could.
Kevin, right quick, I want to mention a kid last night from the Crest game, Stephen Bethune. A kid that was called up from the JV team, played some nose tackle last night for Crest. Don't have an update on him. He was taken off the field on a stretcher, a long injury timeout. He was moving. We could see that from up in the press box. And what was even crazier, one of the ladies that was helping him as she was running back to the ambulance, she hurt her leg, so she had to be helped off the field as well. So kid got his first varsity action last night from the JV team, was playing extremely well. So hopefully we'll get some good news. We can update you on him Friday night in the pregame show. So hated to see that, but hopefully he's going to be okay.
Thank you, Rob. Rest of the bracket, Irwin will host Guilford, Eastern Guilford, and West Henderson will host West Rowan. Broadcast for next week. Let's go over that for the folks at home wanting to know how you're going to listen, where you're going to listen to high school football next week. Robertson will be at Chase with, right now, tentatively speaking, Jonathan Bland and Paul Foster. Now, next week, we're going to have highlights of all these games, I believe. This week, we were a little thin on everybody, spread out. Tuscola will be at East Lincoln this week with David Potter and Jason Sane. Smoky Mountain will be at Kings Mountain this week. Kings Mountain fans, you're listening here on 92.9 FM. You are now 92.9 FM is now the Kings Mountain Mountaineers football radio network for the rest of the playoffs. Yeah. Now that the Ironmen have been knocked out, and Bessemer City and Cherryville are both gone. So right here in our wheelhouse, the towers over there on Crowder's Mountain, folks, you guys will get to listen to that game clear as day across Gaston County here in the next few weeks, and in Cleveland County 92.9. So Kings Mountain Mountaineers fans, welcome to the rest of our broadcast here going forward on KTC. WHS Crest will be at Oak Grove. We'll have that on 101.5 FM and 1390 AM. And then, of course, the big game of the week. Tom, you and everybody from Shelby and Lawndale will be up there for Shelby at Burns next week for the second round playoffs. That'll be live on YouTube. And, of course, they can always end up on the radio if one of the games ends up early. Kings Mountain ends up, being done in the second quarter there, Tom. Y'all might end up on 92.9 at some point at the end of that game. All right, any other thoughts or anything before we go?
Just a big one in Burns. I just the state was going to, for lack of a better word, screw us on that. We shouldn't be playing Shelby in the second round. Right. I would say third round, yeah, I can understand. Second round, that's tough. But I think our guys will be ready. It's hard to beat a team twice in 3 weeks. I mean, it's just tough.
73% of the time, Tom.
Yeah, I mean, it's tough.
73% of the times the team that won the first one wins the second one.
Wins the second one.
There's a reason for that.
Yeah. Yeah, but, Shelby's going to get some of their guys back.
I was about to say, my thing for you, Tom, it really is a different football team than what Burns saw 2 weeks ago.
Because they're going to have a few of their guys that were out sick.
All right, JP. Let's take a break. When we come back, we've got college football, NFL ahead of us, and NBA on KTCBroadcasting.com.
Check out the Fall Service Call special from Shelby Heated and Air. Shelby Heated and Air is now offering a Fall Service Call special of just $55. But that's not all. Get up to $750 with a special Shelby Heated and Air discount on qualifying systems. Call today at 704-487-7877 and schedule your $55 service call appointment. Shelby Heated and Air. Online at shelbyheating.com. See their page at whatsupshopper.com and like them on Facebook too.
Cakes and cookies, toys and gifts, Christmas at your fingertips.
It's the shopping event of the season, the Southern Christmas Show, November 10th through 20th at the Park Expo and Conference Center. Enjoy a winter wonderland and find the magic of the season with frosty decor galore. Plus, shop hundreds of booths to find one-of-a-kind gifts for everyone on your list. Buy early and save on tickets at southernChristmasShow.com.
Let's go to the Southern Christmas Show.
Whirlpool, Samsung, KitchenAid, and LG refrigerators have all been unloaded at Hendrick Appliance and Mattress Center in Shelby. Save big money on these scratch and dented refrigerators, and all with a 1-year warranty. But that's not all. Scratch and dented washers and dryers, including top mount and front mount high-end laundry units. Bosch stainless steel dishwashers for $499, and all with a 1-year warranty. And check out their YouTube videos, Hendrick Appliance and Mattress Center, 1241 East Dixon Boulevard in Shelby, on the right going down, on the left coming up.
No man is a man until he's been a soldier. This Veterans Day salute is brought to you by Ferguson Ace Hardware in Cherryville. The soldier is the Army. No Army is better than its soldiers. The soldier is also a citizen of our country. The highest obligation and privilege of citizenship is that of bearing arms for one's country. Never was so much owed by so few. This Veterans Salute is brought to you by Ferguson Ace Hardware, Highway 150 East in Cherryville.
The NASCAR Cup Series.
They are off and running and heading side by side up to turn number 1.
Championship 4. Head to Phoenix Raceway.
Trouble turn 2. Denny Hamlin breaks loose. He's into the outside retaining wall.
For the opportunity to claim NASCAR's ultimate prize.
He's back now, and now he is a Cup Series champion in 2021.
It's the NASCAR Cup Series Championship.
Sunday afternoon at 2 o'clock on Carolina Country WCSL. 92.9 FM, 1590 AM, and online at kdcbroadcasting.com.
The Great Outdoors in Cherryville knows that America's veterans have served their country with the belief that democracy and freedom are ideals to be upheld around the world. We remember and honor those who have died. We thank God for all the veterans who stand by our side for freedom. This memorial salute is from the Great Outdoors, 112 North Cherry Street in Cherryville. Online at teamgreatoutdoors.com. Call 704-445-8848.
Thanks for help bringing the economy back. One local purchase at a time.
Kind of uplifts you and you feel better.
It's the greatest comeback of all time.
Shop local with whatsupshopper.com, Carolina Country, and the Boss.
And we're back on Saturday Morning Sports Talk with Kevin and the guys.
Jay Pizzle. What's up, JP?
No.
Welcome to Shelby Heating Air, ShelbyHeating.com, Saturday Morning Sports Talk. Breakfast now brought to you by McDonald's of Cherryville. McDonald's of Cherryville. I want to thank those for breakfast this morning. JP, what'd you have?
I'm about to eat.
You ain't even got to it yet?
No, not yet.
It's been 2 hours since you picked it up.
I can't eat early in the morning. If I do, it tears my stomach up. That's why I have to wait. It's weird that way for some reason. It just tears. If I eat really early in the morning, my stomach gets.
It's weird that way.
Messed up for some odd reason. I don't know.
It's weird that way.
But.
Thank you, JP. Thank you.
Well, you're the one who asked me.
I know. I'm messed up. Tom, your Cavaliers are dominating the Celtics the last few weeks.
Yeah, they beat them twice, and they won last night again. The winning streak's at 7. They won without Mitchell or Garland last night. I mean, I know they beat the Celtics. I mean, the Pistons, but still, I mean, they're playing some good ball, and they're deep. It's just like I keep saying. You know, you guys went through it as like, is Mitchell a top 10 player? No, I think he debunked that. But, you know, they don't really have a top 10 player on the team, but they have. Just they're solid.
No, I told you,
and they're
Tom,
deep.
Tom, Mitchell made everybody else better.
That's right.
Yeah.
You guys did, and Robbie will agree with this as a Hornets fan, the Cavaliers did exactly what the Hornets have supposed to have been doing the past 15, 20 years. You hit on your draft picks,
right.
And then you sign one big star that can put you over the top. That can average. You need somebody that can average 25 points a game. You need to be able to. I've been saying it for year after year after year after year. Cut anyone on the Hornets making over $15 million. They're all gone. Get rid of them. Draft. But we miss every single draft pick. Speaking of that, did you see your Duke boy this week, Rob? He got demoted to the G League. 13th pick in the draft. Good job, Hornets.
Wow.
Didn't make it 10 games before he got demoted. What we have no future.
Well,
you guys have nailed it. And well, other than Anthony Bennett, you've pretty much nailed most of your draft picks the last year.
Mobley plays. Garland. You know, they hit on Sexton too. He got hurt and they eventually dealt him. But yeah, Mobley's been really, really good, and especially with him and Jared Allen coming in. I mean, like you take one out, put the other one in. It's the same thing. Kevin Love is fine with his 6-man role. And I think every time that he'll come in, I feel like scoring 25.
Yeah,
and he will.
He's a good.
He's
a great
next game.
man.
He might have but 6.
Yeah.
But I mean, you know, he's great coming off the bench.
Well, guys off the bench, you'd like the guy that can rebound. You'd like a guy that can shoot a 3.
Right.
And he don't need to play 30 minutes. Kevin Love is a perfect 6-man going forward as he gets older. Some guys are going to age like Russell Westbrook. You can't stick him in the corner and do what Kevin Love does and get his rebounds and stuff. Some guys are going to age better. Tom, the only thing I do not like about you guys, I got to be honest with you, looks like a blind man decided y'all's colors.
I mean, is that all you have to say?
That's all I have. They're awful. Y'all's uniforms are awful. The most awfulest uniforms in the NBA. Y'all used to have some cool uniforms at some point, but y'all got to get rid of this LeBron wine. The wine and the
wine
is it
good.
gold?
Yeah,
Gold,
I guess. Yeah.
Wine and gold. I don't like the wine color.
I don't know. I think I think
maroon.
Besides
maroon.
Besides the fact that he doesn't like the colors, I think. And don't forget about Okoro. You know, he stepped up there and started in because Garland and Mitchell were out.
We look like the Redskins running around now.
Yeah, but he can step in there. So he was a draft pick from a couple of years ago. So if you're getting production out of your picks, and I guess that's why they said, well, we can just forego some picks and get Mitchell because we've hit on these picks.
Well, you've hit on the other ones.
Right, we've hit on these picks, so now we don't need to draft for a little while.
We haven't drafted a 25-point scorer ever, so we'll trade the next 20 for one guy. Like I just want somebody that can score 25 in Charlotte. I'd love to have that at one point. It'd just be feeling so nice.
You really have to go back to the Alonzo Mourning, Larry
Rice.
Johnson,
Glenn Rice
draft
is the last
picks
person
when you
and
feel
we
like
didn't draft him. Yeah,
yeah. I mean, you feel like you drafted a difference maker for your organization,
right? Kimbo era. A lot of people loved Kimbo. I was never a Kimbo fan. I don't want the short point guard that can't play defense or shoot threes. But
you have Dennis Smith Jr.
Does he play for Charlotte?
Yeah.
Jeez, that's why they're 3-6.
So the Charlotte demoted one guy to the G League. Don't they have another one in jail?
I don't know whether.
Who's the guy?
Well, that's why I was going to bring him up in a
jail?
sec. No, he's not in jail because our wonderful judicial system. He's in California. Tom. He beat his wife and his kid. Felony charges.
Mm-hmm.
He pleaded to probation.
Mm-hmm.
Brittany. Now, whatever you think about Brittany Griner and the Russian laws. She had a vape pens, and she gets 9 years. I know it's completely different, but he beat his wife or baby's mama and the kid. This is after he threw the mouthpiece and hit the kid in the stands in the last game of the season. I said they shouldn't sign him then. A month later, he's beating his wife, kid. He got probation. Probation. He'll be on the Nets or somebody or Knicks or somebody.
It's obvious
in 6 weeks.
If you have an urge to beat somebody with an inanimate object or your hands, head to California. That's the place to do it.
Unbelievable. Like there's two people like, wonder if he can give us minutes. A lot of these teams, the Lakers, like, wonder if we can get Miles Bridges, and everybody's he's not because he's not going to jail. But I don't know. We're not in charge of that system or whatever it is. Y'all do whatever y'all want to do in California. But he should be in jail. He beat his wife and the kid. Come on now. Hornets are 3-6.
I want to ask you something. As you mentioned records,
yeah,
and we talk about who's this guy that's coming out next year. Everybody wants
Wimbayana.
Oh yeah.
Okay, everybody wants him. Is that the reason that the Lakers are 2-6? Is that the reason the Golden State Warriors are 3-7?
You
think of it, guys.
Oh Lord, no, not the Warriors.
The Warriors are 3-7.
They have bad leadership.
Draymond Green.
They got bad leadership there. That's
they get rid of Draymond Green. They'd probably
they got too many guys that can't shoot.
Yeah.
Like Draymond.
Like Curry. Like Thompson.
There's one guy on the team that can't
like
shoot.
Wiggins. Like Poole.
He named the one.
I mean, last night they played without Green, Curry, Thompson. There was so many of them out last night. But, I mean, they got beat again, but play the game.
Down. Curry and Thompson are probably just going to shut it down.
True or false? Let's close our crazy ears or whatever for a second. If you're running the Lakers, your only job is to keep your job and make the Lakers better going forward. Do you not trade LeBron? Is there any move? No, wait a minute. Is there any move you can make that would make LeBron and the Lakers a championship?
Getting rid of Westbrook would be the only thing that they could do, but nobody's going to want Westbrook.
Okay, well, that's what I'm saying. Like, you can't. Is there anything you can give Westbrook or Anthony Davis up that's going to make the Lakers a title favorite or contender? So my point is if you're the GM of the Lakers, that's what I'm saying. There is nobody. So my point is, if I'm the Lakers, if I'm Jeannie Buss, whatever. I look into trading LeBron because that's the only person you're going to get any value for. You have no future with LeBron. You got your one championship. What are you going to do? 5 more years till he's 45 and hope he plays with his kid? Like, what's the goal? If you're Lakers, not win it this year, is it next year when you ain't got Westbrook? But you got to have something to replace him. So he's not going to play forever. I know he's superhuman. Not on HGH. He goes to Germany every year, Tom, and he spends $2 million on sit-ups and goes to Germany every summer, but he's not on anything. So I'm just saying, like, I think that if I've always been like again, if I'm the Nets, I'd move Durant as soon as possible. What's the point of keeping him? You get way more, and I know that you'd rather have him than Kyrie, but if you're not going to win, get rid of your star while you can. Like Hornets, we talked about this last year, Terry. If they traded LaMelo last year, they would never get a higher value than they ever will. I don't think there's no way going forward they're going to get anything higher than they could have last year. And then now here we are sitting here at 3-6. Miles Bridges is gone. We have no team. Ball's hurt. Our draft picks in the G League. What do we have? And then Terry's talking about Wimbayana. You want me to pull up him for a second, Terry? You want to see him?
Well, I'm just saying, I mean, everybody's talking about him, and then you start seeing teams that you think should win. Maybe the Lakers are not because they're old. I mean, 2-6, I could see them. But for Golden State being 3-7, come on.
Are you
they
saying
shouldn't
you don't
be
believe
3-7.
And my question is the NBA.
Terry, how old's Curry? Curry not.
He's not
a spring chicken anymore,
That's
Terry.
right.
Neither is
Y'all
Thompson.
just won the NBA title.
You said there.
You're 3-7.
You called the Lakers
you're
old.
Better.
You called the Lakers old, but
they're 0-6 on the road.
I wouldn't call Golden State young.
I said, to me, Tom Brady's shown once the wheels start to come off, it can happen fast.
And it costs you your wife, too.
I think that the whole thing there was on account of him losing his wife. I just don't think he has motivation to be playing like he was. I mean, he can't keep his mind occupied now on everything else that's going on in his life.
All right, basketball.
Yeah. Okay.
This here's your Wimbayana. Terry's 7'4". And this is what the folks are.
It's what he does.
Are looking for. That was an illegal screen. He just said, and then he did dunk on that guy without jumping. But he's the number one prospect, and this is what everybody's looking for. But Terry, yes, maybe I guarantee there's teams tanking, but I really don't think the Golden State Warriors are one of those teams that are tanking. Yeah. They have. Why would they tank? Like, so we can win it next year? Like they're going. Who's the favorite this year? Is it not them?
Supposed to be.
It's supposed to be. Are they the betting favorites? Where the Clippers end up in that? Well, Kyrie's hurt. Kawhi's hurt. I mean,
no. Golden State was number 1. Boston was number 2. When you go back to the rankings, but I don't know about the West side.
The whole East is. I'm looking at it, and sorry, Tom, without offending you guys, the whole East is trash, and Charlotte is 13th. Rob,
so you're saying the Cleveland Cavaliers are trash?
Besides the Milwaukee Bucks, y'all are probably. I would pick every team in the West
trash. You called us trash.
Well, if you were in the West, I would have you not in the playoffs.
Whatever.
I can't believe. I can't even believe that.
It's hard to listen.
That's what I'm saying.
It's just hard to listen.
Wait, no. Let's go through the teams.
It's hard to listen.
Are the Cavs better than the Phoenix Suns?
No. Okay.
Are they better than the Utah Jazz?
Yes.
No.
Yes.
They are better than the Utah.
They are better than the Utah Jazz.
Utah
Jazz lost too much
Jazz
for them to be up there.
Jazz are in third place in the West. Terry.
I know where they're at.
I don't care.
I don't care neither. They won't be there at the end of the year. They'll be down there at that 8-9 seed.
Yeah.
Memphis.
They're better than them.
Oh, yeah.
Pelicans.
They better now. Yep.
Y'all are silly.
Not Denver.
Are they better than Denver?
Yes.
No.
Yes, they're better than
They're
Denver.
not better than Denver.
They've got 2 guys that can throw a joke. They got 2 guys that can throw.
And it take both of them.
They better than
Dallas.
Dallas.
But you can't stick both of them in the game at the same time.
Are they better than Dallas?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, they're better than Dallas. And they're better than the Clippers. They're better than San Antonio.
Hold on.
And they're better than Oakland.
Let's back. Who's the Cavs' best
Oklahoma
player? Donovan Mitchell. We already did this once. We had him at like 12.
No, they have a select few guys of a lot, man.
That are good.
They're good.
They're good.
No, I know that.
I mean, yeah,
you're not
going to
get
in
the playoffs. It comes down to the 2 best players on each team, though. You call
Mitchell's going to perform every night.
Right, he'll score. Well, in Utah, he scored 50 in the playoffs every night, and they got beat in the first or second round every night.
Yeah, but
I'm saying is that if the Cavs are in the West,
you said they're not making the playoffs.
Yeah.
That's
and
silly.
I like Jared Allen underneath.
Tom,
he can play the middle.
Stupid.
Well, Tom, right now the Warriors aren't in the playoffs. You better than them?
Yep. The Warriors are 3-7. Right now they are.
Yeah, you're better than the Warriors.
Right now they are.
Okay. No. You're right.
Proof is in the pudding, dude.
You're right. As far as the records go, but if we go to 7-game series tomorrow, you betting on the Cavs?
Is this the same guy that talks about no eye test, no feelings? What's the record on the field? And now he's going back to feelings. See, he's a chameleon. Whatever he feels like saying, he's smart, you're dumb. He does this every week.
Answer the question. Who would you bet on? Would you bet on the Cavs to beat the Warriors?
Yes.
Okay, that's all I need.
Yes.
We're going to record this.
I would.
At the end of this. Y'all would bet on the Cavs to beat Steph Curry in a series?
Yes.
When's the last
If
time he
all
lost
them's
a series?
playing, I'm not.
Terry, thank you.
I'm not.
Thank you, Terry.
I'm sorry.
It's not.
I mean, get real.
Terry,
Dude,
come
it's
on.
not 2016, Kevin. It's not
Talk to Terry.
2016.
I'm done with my point.
Sorry, it's not
I
2016.
agree because I just watched Golden State struggle with the Hornets.
Yeah.
I mean,
Terry says on purpose.
Trash. Call us trash. 7-1, 7 wins in a row, and they call us trash. Okay, whatever.
I'm not saying you trash.
Okay. No, he said.
I'm saying if everybody's playing, you're not better than
then
Golden
he's
State.
all the one talking about what's the record on the field? What they do on the field?
There is nobody in
All
the
this
East
crap.
besides the Bucks that would come out of the West. Is my point.
Nah.
You're talking about wouldn't come into the playoffs.
Come out of the West and make the finals. There's
Well,
nobody in the
Milwaukee,
East. There's nobody in the East that can make it out of the
Cleveland, Boston,
No.
and
No.
that's it. Philadelphia's not. To me, they've never been good. Even with Embiid, they're not good. They cannot beat Boston, period, in a playoff
With
game.
Embiid, they are good, Terry. With Embiid, they are good.
Yeah, but they can't beat somebody if they have to.
I don't know.
Because they
With
try
Embiid,
to go to him too much, and he can't do everything. I mean, they even got guys around him to help him, but it still doesn't work. So,
that great experience, great experiment in Philadelphia with the tanking, getting those draft picks has never materialized like they thought it was going to.
Because
I mean, you look
draft
over
picks are
here,
too unpredictable. They're too unpredictable.
I mean, when you look at this, everybody would say, "Okay, what about Miami Heat? They're 4-6. Brooklyn 3-6. Both of them teams are good if they play together. The problem is they're not playing together. You know, and when you got like Kyrie Irving has destroyed Brooklyn. I mean, I'm just going to say that he has. I don't know whether they'll ever be any good from here on out. I mean, it's going to be Durant, but see, Durant, after all that talk, I want to be traded, then he stays. And same thing with Irvin, he stays.
Wasn't his fault he stayed.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
They
I mean,
kept him. He asked to be
that
traded.
money, they gave him a lot of money.
Well, I just don't like a guy with like Kyrie Irving. When you open your mouth, what do you have to gain and what do you have to lose?
Yeah, even LeBron
I mean, I don't
was
understand
against him last
You know what
night.
I mean? I don't get it.
Kyrie has had a screw loose, even me being a Duke fan. Kyrie has had a screw loose for a long time. Mr. Flat Earther.
And I wish the Duke people, they always try to claim him. He played 6 games for Duke.
Yeah, but he helped y'all.
He played like 18 games.
He helped y'all.
He didn't play a lot. He didn't play a lot.
He played right at this first, got hurt, and then come back for the first season.
I'd like to see how many
he destroyed Boston when he went there. Nobody wanted to play.
I mean,
with him.
he's just an idiot.
So besides whatever you think about him, the problem with Kyrie is basketball wise is he's a short point guard that doesn't play point guard. He's Allen Iverson, and Iverson didn't succeed or didn't make the finals until he got him a tall point guard. Well, when Kyrie was good, who was the point guard? When they won the championship, LeBron was the point guard, tall point guard. That's what if you have a scoring shooting guard like Kemba. We've went over this time and time again. Point guards do not lead their teams in scoring and go to the championships. Only 3 have ever done it in the history: Magic, Isaiah, and who was the other one? Steph are the only 3 that's ever done it. So every one of those guys, as soon as you say 6'3" point guard and he scores, I know you're not winning. No Russell Westbrook, no Kyrie, you're not winning. And the only reason Kyrie did was because the 6'8" guy was running the point guard.
You could go. It is interesting. You go back to Kyrie, even back to that season at Duke. There was the same struggle there. Him and Nolan Smith could never get on the same page of who was going to be the point guard.
2 guards can't do it. 2 little guards, you just can't. It's impossible. That's why Pippen played point guard a lot. It's because you had to have – you couldn't run Jordan out there with a 6'3" guy all the time that couldn't shoot threes. So Kerr and them, they would come out there. But Pippen and Ron Harper would run the point, so you'd have the big point guard. And if you're feeding the shooting guard and you're getting points from your guards, you got to have I don't know why, but you got to have a big point guard that can run the point, play some defense, and get back. You got a little guy out there, you're dead meat. It's always been that way. And so that's my problem with Kyrie's game. And everybody talks about Kyrie. And Kyrie and Iverson are close to the same player to me. I like Iverson's game better than Kyrie's. A lot of people like Kyrie's better. I don't know. I like Iverson better. But to me, again, that style of play never is going to win. But this Wembanyama Sevens guy, tell you right now, Pistons, Magic, Rockets, Lakers should try to get it. But even if you do, it's a lottery, so it's not like you're guaranteed.
Oh, I know. It's
for
not
that.
guaranteed.
So that's why I don't think they're doing that. I think the Lakers need to trade LeBron.
And that's, a lot of people say, how does the NBA solve this tanking deal and keep teams from doing it? the thing with basketball, that's the one sport where you only need one guy to turn it around. There's no other sport where you can do that and say, look, if we just get the one guy, we're a playoff contender. NBA, you can get that one guy and
I think
hit on that.
Football, you could argue a quarterback, maybe.
But even if you tank in the NBA, you get that
You're not
lottery.
guaranteed
You're
that
not
pick.
guaranteed that number one pick.
Well, my whole deal, and I want to ask Rob, that's just like when I go back and I say the NBA don't get injustice and jumping in there stuff. They did when Chris Paul wanted to go to the Lakers. They almost stopped that themselves. Why does the NBA let this happen? Because to me, this is what I'm seeing has happened. I'm not going to say Golden State's going to tank all the way out, but they're 3-7. This team is way better than a 3-7 team.
And I've heard that
Terry, they're like third or fourth in offense. Their defense is awful.
What do you think about
their defense is the worst?
It's the worst in the NBA.
That's
I'm looking at it. It's
Draymond.
121.
Yeah, that's Draymond.
Yeah, I wish you'd be quiet.
There's been a discussion by the NBA of possibly taking the worst teams and having a tournament at the end of the year.
They should.
Draymond
would be the MVP of that tournament.
We talk about every week. Just don't talk about Draymond this week. And that's all he's talked about.
No, it's not. I've actually talked about a variety of things. I'm just saying that you brag on his defense all the time, and they got the worst defense in the NBA. That's all I'm saying, Terry. That's all I'm saying.
He's having to do too much.
Have you never heard him?
He's doing too much.
I would say they're drunk texts, but I know he doesn't drink. He's just naturally like this. I mean, it's kind of comical. It's like, Terry doesn't drink, but look at these texts. I'll tell you what, he might be tonight. I mean, it's like with his Draymond text. So I just have to say that, Terry, it's your boy's fault.
It's not my boy's fault. Yeah.
Yeah, it is.
The other guys cannot shoot. There.
The worst defense in the NBA is the shooter's fault.
That's what I'm saying, man.
My God, score
funny.
you points, guys.
All right, we're going to go to football here in just a minute. Finally, the freak has been unleashed. 21 minutes a game. He's averaging 10 points, 7 rebounds, 2.6 blocks a game. Bobo, Rob.
And what's the record?
Almost as good as the defending champions, and they beat the defending champions.
That's all I got to say.
Bobo beat Draymond this
They
week.
did.
Yeah, I saw that.
Terry's had a bad week in basketball. Celtics got smoked by the Cavs, and then
we beat Chicago last night.
Draymond got smoked by Bobo this week.
Yeah, we beat Chicago last night.
Rob, you know that's my favorite player in the NBA. 10.7 rebounds in 21 minutes. That's what he's averaging.
That is efficient.
Did you know the blocks? He was total in blocks. Between on how many games they've played, he goes back and forth. He's actually leads the NBA when they play after they play in total blocks. And then the next few whoever takes over the next night takes over. They're going back and forth. But 2.6 blocks game. I did pull this up, Terry. As far as the block shots go, I showed y'all the one where he blocked a 3-pointer standing in the paint. Did you see that one? Brunson shot the 3, and Bobo was standing in the paint and jumped up and blocked it. That's what they're looking at that Wembanyama guy for too. Like, that's insane. They started them the other night. The shortest guy on the starting lineup was 6'10" for Orlando.
Really?
They had Bobo at small forward.
Wow.
And they hit 7'2".
Crazy.
Now, where's that guy's playing in like the European leagues or something like that?
Which one? Wembanyama?
Yeah.
I can't remember where
he's not playing in college, right?
No, he's overseas. I wonder because there was a stat with his dad, where his dad was block shot. Oh, here's the starting lineup. Orlando Magic starting lineup was 6'7". Terrence Ross was the point guard. Sorry, 6'10", 6'10", 6'10", and 7'2".
Sounds like Cleveland last year. They had all those big guys last year. They traded away marketing, so they lost one of them.
I must have not saved that. But his dad averaged like 6. It was like, the per 36-minute stat.
Yeah.
His dad had had the highest ever at like 6 blocks per 36 minutes. And then another guy the next closest was like 4. And Bobo this year was averaging more than his dad this year per 36 minutes. So all time ever block shots by 2. And he can dribble and shoot. This is the shot, Tom. I know I can't put it up on the screen. He blocked this 3-pointer.
Rob, if you haven't picked it up yet,
In the lane.
he has a man crush on Bobo.
Yeah.
It's
big time.
I think just like
it's worse than Terry's on Draymond.
I don't sit there and say he's the greatest defender of all time. I
No,
say
you
the
do.
dude is
I will
fun
give you
and
that.
cool
I'll
and
give you
awesome to
that.
watch. Like, this is a fun story. It's like watching the guy. I like watching Ross Chastain do something cool, and I like watching a 7-2 guy block a 3-pointer standing in the free throw lane. That's just not fun for Tom. Just not fun.
I'm just saying, it's your man crush. It's fine.
He's 22 years old.
It's fine, And I just looked up the ages. Curry, 34. Klay Thompson, 32. You wonder why they're not as good as they were 6 years ago. Plus Klay Thompson, all his injuries.
Draymond averages 7, 7, and 7. When people talk about him nonsense.
The triple single, yeah.
And that's 36 minutes a game. Bowles over here is averaging 10 and 7 and 3 blocks a game in 20 minutes. But I can't get no love for him. All right, we'll be back in a minute. NCAA football. I told y'all last week, did I not? Tennessee should be number 1, and the experts agreed with me. The Vols are number 1, and they'll go to the Dogs today.
They have the best win.
KTC Broadcasting.
They have the best win.
Played one game.
KTCBroadcasting.com.
They have the best win.
Check out the fall service call special from Shelby Heated and Air. Shelby Heated and Air is now offering a fall service call special of just $55. But that's not all. Get up to $750 with a special Shelby Heated and Air discount on qualifying systems. Call today at 704-487-7877 and schedule your $55 service call appointment. Shelby Heated and Air. Online at shelbyheating.com. See their page at whatsupshopper.com and like them on Facebook too. It's time to go picking at Gaston Pickers in Gastonia. They are now open Wednesday through Saturday, 10 a.m. till 6 p.m., Sunday afternoons from 1 to 5. Come check it all out. 28,000 square feet of vendors with antiques, collectibles, furniture, and more. And vendor space is available by calling 704-852-7055. Check out some of the booths at whatsupshopper.com and online at gastonpickers.net. Like them on Facebook too. Gaston Pickers, 503 Long Avenue in Gastonia, or exit 19 off I-85. Congratulations to Gaston Pickers, celebrating 10 years of business.
The Renaissance Festival is back Saturdays and Sundays, October 1st through November 20th. New! Tickets limited. Save your dates while supplies last. New! Gates open at 9:30 a.m. Arrive early. Tickets available online only at renfestinfo.com. Don't miss it! Don't miss the Renaissance Festival! Sponsored by Visit Lake Norman. Visit Lake Norman, the lakeside of Charlotte. Huzzah!
Here's a special veteran salute from everyone at Mooney Insurance Agency in Maiden. To us in America, the reflections of our veterans will be filled with lots of pride, and for those who died in our country's service, with gratitude for the victory, giving us freedom and the opportunity to live in America. This special veteran salute is from everyone at Mooney Insurance Agency, 1205 East Main Street in Maiden.
Full Throttle Power Sports and Law knows that a true hero is not measured by the size of his strength, but by the strength of his heart. We honor our heroes, our soldiers, our sailors, all around the world, who bravely protect our country with cause and honor. God bless you and thank you. This memorial salute is from Full Throttle Power Sports, 100 Indian Walk off I-85 in Gastonia. Online at ncfullthrottle.com. Call 704-833-1270.
The NASCAR Xfinity Series.
Here they come down to the line. Green flag goes in the air.
Heads west to Phoenix Raceway.
Trouble in turn 1 now. A car goes sliding down to the inside.
Where four-wheel drive for the series crown.
Dominating season continues for Noah Gregson here at the Homestead Miami Speedway.
It's the NASCAR Xfinity Series Championship.
Saturday afternoon at 5:30 on Carolina Country WCSL. 92.9 FM, 1590 AM, and online at ktcbroadcasting.com.
Trusted, tried, and true. Those 3 words represent the highest standards for the Kawasaki Mule side-by-sides. Trusted means being built strong and built to last. Tried means being put to the test by hardworking people doing the toughest jobs. And true means staying authentic to the roots that run 30 years deep. Kawasaki Mule, the definition of trusted, tried, and true. See the Kawasaki Mule at Full Throttle Power Sports, located at 101 Indian Walk in Lowell.
And we're back on Saturday Morning Sports Talk.
And welcome back.
Kevin.
And it's brought to you by...
Tom.
It's brought to you
and
by...
Terry.
Okay.
And Robbie.
You got it, JP. Okay, it's brought to you by Shelby Heating and Air. Call them 704-487-7877. Check them out online, shelbyheating.com. I think he has to think about who's
That was
here.
fun.
He does. I think he does have to think about
I enjoyed
who's
that.
here. I didn't, but I enjoy
Well, I know you
Shelby.
didn't. I kept interrupting you.
Yeah, I enjoy. I feel like it's Friday night. I enjoy. I enjoy that Shelby Heating and Air actually still cuts us checks, even though we have this. So just want to thank them especially for continuing to sponsor our show.
And thanks you for McDonald's for the new breakfast.
That was good. You know what? I had a McGriddle. You know, I hadn't had a McGriddle in a while.
Well, I do got some stats for I did miss on one on NASCAR, Terry. Do you guys want to guess who had the best average finish this year among the four? And who had the worst? None.
The best average?
Who had the best average finish and had the worst among the four drivers?
Chastain probably did.
Chastain was the best at 10.55. Think about it, the best in NASCAR, Tom. You only finished 10th every race.
Wow.
Chase Elliott was 16th. His average finish this year. Logano 13th and Bell 12. I didn't mean to mention that. There's the 44 Pennzoil, Terry. Do you remember this? This is what Johnson drove at one point. So that's what they're talking about, Matt. Not obviously the sponsor, but the 44 there. All right, fine. All right, NCAA football. I want to pull up the BCS standings.
It's not the BCS.
What's it called now?
It's College Football Playoff. The BCS has been gone for like 7 years.
Yeah, well, whatever.
Remember they used to call it the BSCS?
Yeah,
remember that?
That's
right. The BSCS.
Well,
so they've got Ohio State at 5, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
What
is
this November?
This is 2021.
I pulled up the wrong one.
I was getting ready to say.
I was getting ready
when
to
you
say
showed
that.
Michigan State,
something wasn't exactly right on that
Yeah, well,
picture.
Yeah, Michigan State's had a
Come
ton,
on, Google,
ton,
do
of,
better.
ton of injuries this year.
Google's got to do better than that.
Let's get ready to say Ohio State's 5.
There it is, 2022. Let's go with this. Y'all want to go with this one?
yeah, let's show Tennessee up there somewhere.
Is that one better?
Yeah. And
There you
they
go.
just said Michigan's upset about this. Of course, I would be too. I think they're better than Clemson. I think
They're not.
Yeah, they are.
Just on account they're from the Big Ten don't mean they're better.
No, I didn't say anything about that. I said they're the more complete team. They've struggled.
How can you say that?
Clemson has struggled on defense. They struggled on defense. They've struggled to find offensive consistency. They play in a weak conference. Of course, I will say the Big Ten's not nearly what it has been in recent years. They're down this year too. I will concede that, but the ACC's down. Who's good in the ACC? You know, State doesn't have their quarterback. Carolina gives up a ton
And
of
they're
points.
ranked.
They got
Wake
beat by
Forest
Notre
is
Dame
ranked.
at home.
Syracuse
You know what?
is ranked. North Carolina's ranked.
Syracuse just get beat.
Clemson's ranked.
I'll just be honest. The team Clemson's glad is not on their schedule this year is the Mighty Blue Devils. Let's just be honest.
Let's say
They did win. Did they win last
They
night?
won last night.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
6 wins already.
Clemson has struggled repeatedly on offense. Wake Forest should have beat them. Wake Forest should have beat Clemson.
Wake Forest played last week and had 8 turnovers and got destroyed by Louisville.
Okay, so you just were bragging on them just a second ago, and now you're talking about them getting destroyed by a Louisville team that nobody's even heard of.
I tell you, the team, when I look at that list, the team that, again, I think is going to get the short end of the stick because there's only 14 in the playoffs, that TCU team.
Yeah.
I mean,
Here you are
they're
again.
sitting at 7, and I look at the guys in front of them, and they
And
don't
there's
have a
Alabama.
shot. They don't have a shot to get in because you know either Ohio State or Michigan is going to be there. You know Tennessee or Georgia is definitely going to be there. And if Alabama wins the SEC championship over Tennessee or Georgia, they're going to be there. And Clemson, who's going to beat Clemson?
Well, here's your problem, too. And then if there's a little falter, you still have to jump over Alabama.
Yeah.
And they've got a loss.
Yeah.
So
I don't know. That's why the expanded playoffs to me has to happen.
8. I think because you go through Oregon, like, okay, Oregon and USC will compete and all that. That's fine. We won't argue nearly as an undefeated TCU team does get in because I will agree. I mean, undefeated, they've had a great season.
Yeah, I'm like you. You know, the response has always been, well, then you're going to fuss about the 8-9 situation. It's a lot easier to justify 8-9 than it is for me to talk about 4 or 5.
So in other words, like if Oregon gets in and USC doesn't, I don't think people are going to jump up and down like an undefeated TCU doesn't get in.
Right. Absolutely.
So yeah, I would be in favor of expanding it. You know, it's always people are always going to don't mind. So you go to 16 teams. All right, who gets in Illinois
There's
or
good
North
games
Carolina?
today. LSU against Alabama.
Why does everybody think LSU's got a shot against them? Tennessee went down there in Baton Rouge and embarrassed them.
Here's my thing. Here's my
Why
thing,
do they
guys.
think they have a chance?
A night game at LSU, and you can look back through the history of that program. A night game in Death Valley at LSU is different than anywhere else in the country. This is a dangerous game for Alabama.
Well,
and why do you have?
They played poorly against good competition.
Why do we have Tennessee and Georgia playing at 3:30?
Thank you, CBS. They want Alabama in that prime time.
That's right. That's exactly right.
All
That's
is.
exactly right. That's
all that is.
That should be tonight, a 7:30 prime time for everybody to see, not at 3:30 in the evening.
That's right. Really the better game. Yeah, I would say Alabama LSU needs to be at 3:30.
That's
but
right.
But like you say, they want that night game in Baton Rouge. I mean, I know people talking about that. Who else beat LSU this year? Didn't they lost to? Who's the first game of the year they lost to? I can't. It's been a little while back. I know they've. It seems like their wins. Do that. What's their best win? Can't think of off the top of my head. I have to look up their schedule. What's their best win?
I don't know, but there's good games on here. State and Wake tonight are good games. Well, it is.
Terry, will there be more than one person out of the state of North Carolina watching NC State and Wake Forest?
Well, I know one person. Yeah.
Come on.
He's pretty valuable.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. You could. Okay. Mississippi, arguably their best win. Florida, they beat Florida. Florida kind of after their opening win. Tennessee beat them 40-13. They barely beat Auburn. Remember, Penn State went down there and embarrassed Auburn. They beat New Mexico. Congratulations. They beat Mississippi State, who's not really powerhouse this year. Florida State beat them. That's right. Florida State beat them. That's right. So, I mean, they've got their best win against Mississippi last week. So they beat Mississippi at home last week, and now everybody thinks they're going to, Alabama, they're going to beat Alabama. I just don't think so. What stands out in my mind is how poorly they played against Tennessee. And I think it's going to be a repeat.
Did I hear y'all correct when I was at Hall? Did y'all say an undefeated TCU would not make the playoffs?
Yes.
They have a good chance not to make the playoffs.
Yeah. Because they'll bump Alabama up.
Dumbest sport I've ever heard.
Well,
dumbest sport. This is the dumbest thing. You can win if their name was Texas, they're in.
They're in.
Yeah.
You're exactly right.
Take the Christian off of them, they're in. Dumbest sport ever.
Exactly right.
Dumbest sport ever. I rest my case.
Yeah. Well,
come on.
I will agree. But I think that Alabama's going to win that game. The Tennessee-Georgia one's the hard for me to pick.
What's going to happen is it's going to be Georgia's going to win this game. Then Alabama's going to beat Georgia. And then all the SEC people is going to have talking about three teams with one loss. At least two of them's got to get in to settle this, Tom. And then now we're going to screw the Pac-12 and the Big Ten or whoever they need to screw. They're going to screw them all over. That's the end game. To get two SEC teams in, you do the math. Georgia wins this one. Then they'll have one loss to Alabama. Alabama, well, we're the SEC champions. We're in. Well, Georgia, we only lost to them. Tennessee, we beat them. Whatever. It's stupid. It's just stupid. You even have to have these conversations.
And say, if you do not make your conference championship, and one of these teams are not, Tennessee, Georgia, or Alabama.
Tennessee or Georgia. Alabama's in it.
Alabama's in it.
Oh, well, okay.
There's no not about it. It's Georgia
there's
or Tennessee.
no way that you can have the team that's left out in a championship.
If you're going to have Georgia and Tennessee and Alabama all with one loss, they all beat each other. One of them's going to have the championship. One of them didn't make it to the championship, and they're going to argue you might get all three in the final.
And that should not never happen. If you can't make your championship, you do not deserve to be there.
Let's do the other scenario.
I agree. I 100% agree.
Say Tennessee beats Georgia. Mm-hmm. But aren't they on different sides of the SEC?
No, Tennessee and Georgia same side.
So Tennessee, Georgia, same side. Alabama's on the other side.
Alabama's opposite side.
So Alabama's going to get one of those.
Right. Again.
Okay.
That's why I said last week, that Tennessee-Alabama game meant nothing. It meant nothing as far as these seeds, because if Alabama would have won, Tennessee still gets to beat Georgia and go to the SEC championship game, and they still got to beat Alabama again. No matter what, they've got to beat Alabama in the championship game.
But,
so that game didn't mean anything.
But this scenario is if Tennessee does win today and they happen to slip up down the road, I got to look at the schedule. But if they did, but they're still going to make the championship game because they'd have one loss tied with Georgia.
Missouri, South Carolina.
So they'd be in the championship.
Missouri, South Carolina, and Vanderbilt they finish up with.
So they're not going to slip up.
I will say South Carolina's playing better.
So South Carolina would have, the bet, but Missouri played Georgia very tough. You know, home at night, like you say, Rob. Home at night, they were home at night. Yeah.
I don't know. All right. Well, here's my Rob. Here's my. If I was the czar of football, here's my playoffs and what we would have. So you earn it in my playoff scenario. I'll pull it up on the big board so I got Rob's pictures right. Yeah. So only conference champions and the teams that make the conference championship games in the Power 5 make it. Your group of 5 champions, and then one, and we got a special surprise for you this week, Tom. One team that's independent gets in, and we'll go from there. So, Tom, Rob, your top 5 seeds are your top 5 Power Conference champions. So, in my scenario, Tennessee is the 1 seed that we plan. We'll go down the list. 2 would be Ohio State. 3 Clemson, 4 TCU, and 5 Oregon are your conference champions. They get your top 5 seeds. 6 through 10 seeds are your conference runners up. So Alabama would get the 6. California would get the 7. 8 would be Kansas State, 9 Illinois, and 10 would be North Carolina. So there's your top 2 teams and your conference champions. And then now, here's where it gets a little funny. 11 through 16 is your group of 5 plus an independent. Now, how they get those seeds is how they are ranked. So all 6 of those teams go into the pool, and they're re-ranked. For the first time ever, Tom, a group of 5 team is ranked higher than our independent best team. So Liberty actually moves to a 12 seed. So Liberty's the 12 seed in this scenario. So the Tulane, folks, has moved up into the Power Poll and the BCS, or whatever you call it. They're 19 overall in the playoff system. They would be 11 in my seed. 12 would go to Liberty. They would back up Coastal Carolina. We saw them the other night win. They'd be the 13 seed in the playoffs. 14 Boise State. 15 Ohio State and Texas San Antonio. And Tennessee would draw Buffalo. The only team out of all those 16 teams, guys, that did not get an AP vote.
Buffalo?
Yep. Buffalo is the only team of those 16 that did not get a vote in the AP poll. So 15 of the 16 teams in. Now, obviously, Rob, the glaring omissions would be no Georgia, no Michigan, no USC, no LSU. But if you go to the BCS 4, anyway, you're not going to have all those teams. So that would be mine if I could do it like baseball, if we could expand the playoffs. I'd rather have an expanded playoff in a shorter regular season, Rob. So that's
absolutely.
That's where I would go with that. Sorry, Georgia. Sorry, Michigan. You wouldn't be in my playoffs if it was up to me.
Yeah, but, just keep in mind, a lot of that can change. I mean, if the
it
conference
changes every week.
Change, a lot of that can change because that's where it would be right now, predicting on who's in the driver's seat to win the
I will say, though, watching Liberty play a game like that after beating Gardner-Webb 21-20.
Yeah.
Well, right. Now, so Rob, how do we talk about these things that, you got your ranking? Oh, God, it's over 10:05. All right, let's pick the games real quick. Sorry. Too much talking for us. Let's go. Rob, we'll try to pick games under 10-point spread. Top 25 first. TCU, 8-point favorite over Texas Tech at home. Robbie.
TCU.
Terry.
TCU.
Tommy.
Texas Tech ruins their season.
Virginia host North Carolina today. Tar Heels 7-point favorites in Charlottesville. Tommy.
Virginia.
Terry.
Carolina.
And Rob.
Carolina.
We just talked about them, guys. Number 19 in the nation. Only 7-1. Only favored by 7 out of 3-5 Tulsa. 7-point favorites. Tulane at Tulsa. Robbie.
And we're going against the spread?
No.
No.
You're just picking a straight winner. I'm just telling you the spread so you know.
Okay. Yeah, Tulane.
Tulane. Yeah. All the way across.
Oklahoma State, 1-point dog at Kansas. Oklahoma State ranked 18, 6-2. Kansas 5-3 at home. They are the favorites. $16. You can get a ticket for this, Robbie.
I like Kansas at home.
Reinhardt.
Oklahoma State. They'll not lose back-to-back weeks.
Oklahoma State.
Syracuse, number 20, 4-point dogs at unranked Pittsburgh. Tom.
Syracuse.
Pittsburgh.
Yeah, this was tough. Syracuse got exposed the last couple of weeks, but I'll take them to right the ship, Syracuse.
Central Florida, 3-point favorites in Memphis today at the Liberty Bowl. 64 degrees. 6-2 UCF at 4-4 Memphis. Tommy?
Memphis.
Terry?
This
is the one that's got you stumped. Central Florida?
Yeah.
Yeah, Central Florida.
Alabama at LSU. Alabama's 13-point favorites between the 6 and the 10 seed. We'll do this one. Y'all had a lot of chirping earlier. We'll see if someone takes the Tigers. Bama at LSU. Robbie.
Whew. I'm taking LSU at home.
I was about to say, all that talking.
Good. Alabama.
Texas. Someone explain this one to me. Remember what I said about Texas would be ranked number 1 if they were in this? Texas is 5-3, number 24. I'll pull this up on the screen. I forgot y'all could look at it, couldn't you? Texas here. Number 24 at number 13. They're favored by 3. 6-2 Kansas State. Terry, who you got?
Texas.
I'll take Texas.
I mean Kansas State at home.
Weird. Speaking of weird, how's the number 4 team, Tom? Only favored by 4 at Notre Dame.
Be scary.
Because their offense is no good. Their quarterback, they got quarterback issues. Give me Notre Dame.
Oh, God.
Notre Dame.
Tom's in a rock and a hard place between picking Dabo and Notre Dame. I think he'd just rather the building burn.
Yeah.
Clemson.
I would.
Clemson.
I'll take Clemson.
Notre Dame's going to win and knock Clemson out. We won't have to hear about Clemson anymore. That'll be good.
Yeah, we're not getting that lucky.
Demon Deacons of Wake Forest. 3-point favorites across the state in Raleigh at NC State Wolfpack. Robbie.
I go Wake.
Tommy.
Give me NC State at home.
Wolfpack. Terry, you got them?
I got North Carolina State. 15-game win streak, going to go to 16.
How many games is that, Terry?
That is 2, 4, 6, 8, 10.
10. We'll do 11 games. Georgia. 9-point favorites at home against the Tennessee Vols. Robbie.
I'll take the Dogs.
Yeah, Georgia.
9-point favorites?
Defense.
Tennessee shocks the world. They go in there and beat them. They prove why they're number 1, Terry.
You just lost.
They're going to beat them between the hedges. They're going to go down there and beat them.
Terry, Rob, and Tom, let me ask you guys this. If Georgia's 9-point favorites against the number 1 team in the nation, shouldn't we let Vegas just rank the teams?
Yeah, that might not be a bad idea.
Would they not do better?
I mean, you beat Alabama at home.
That's their job.
But this is a big difference. You go between them hedges. It's tough to win down
Georgia
there.
has a hard time scoring points, though.
They got a good defense, though. It stopped Tennessee.
All right, JP, we got to take a break. We come back. KTCBroadcast.com. We got to finish up with NFL on KTC.
Check out the Fall Service Call special from Shelby Heated and Air. Shelby Heated and Air is now offering a Fall Service Call special of just $55. But that's not all. Get up to $750 with a special Shelby Heated and Air discount on qualifying systems. Call today at 704-487-7877 and schedule your $55 service call appointment. Shelby Heated and Air. Online at shelbyheating.com. See their page at whatsupshopper.com and like them on Facebook too. There's no use to be cold this coming winter. Head on into Today's Pro in Shelby for warmth and comfort. From gas logs to fireplaces to inserts and more. With name brands like Empire, Monessen, and Buckstone. Be ready for old man winter today with a stop at Today's Pro in Shelby. And they also do service calls. And don't forget they fill those propane cylinders. Just call 704-600-8393. 704-600-8393. Today's Pro, 1325 East Dixon Boulevard in Shelby. Online at thetodayspro.com.
Classic Ford of Shelby wants to point out the foundation of Veterans Day, and that would be honoring the sacrifices that many have made for our country in the name of freedom. Never was so much owed by so many to so few. We often take for granted the very things that most deserve our gratitude. Freedom is never free. This Veterans Day salute is from everyone at Classic Ford of Shelby, 1775 East Dixon Boulevard. Online at classicfordofshelby.com.
This is Senator Ted Alexander.
And I'm Brad Overcash, candidate for the State Senate in Gaston County.
And we approve this message. While we both have no direct opponent during the November 8th election, we do need your help voting for judges at every level in North Carolina to uphold the common sense conservative laws we pass and you have voted for regarding voter ID, capping the state income tax, and election integrity.
All of North Carolina needs your support by backing Trey Allen and Rich Dietz for the State Supreme Court, and Donna Stroud, John Tyson, Michael Stadding, and Julie Flood for the Court of Appeals.
These candidates will not legislate from the bench. Instead, they will interpret the law as written.
And for the listeners in Gaston County, please support conservative judicial candidate Justin Davis for Superior Court.
Early voting starts October 20th for the November 8th election. Paid for by Friends of Ted Alexander
and the Overcash Committee.
Thanks and God bless you.
James River Equipment Company in Shelby wants to take this time to say thanks to our veterans for your service. Your dedication to protecting our country during this time of need deserves all the love from us as we recognize your efforts to give the utmost respect and love to all of our veterans. Thank you for your service. This Veteran Salute is brought to you by everyone at James River Equipment Company, 703 North Post Road, Highway 180 North in Shelby.
Crazy the Greeter says, come on in this month to Blessed Buildings and Tiny Homes in Cherryville. This month, Blessed Buildings and Tiny Homes will be featuring a different special every week. Like this week, electrical packages are half price. Check out the Tiny Homes. And now, on-site builds are available. Get your Christmas gazebos with 4 in the lot to choose from. See Blessed Buildings and Tiny Homes, 2268 Lincoln Highway 150 East in Cherryville, right across from Ace Hardware. Open Monday through Friday, 10 to 6, Sundays by appointment.
For over 60 years, Boyd Tire and Appliance has been serving the Clover and surrounding area with the finest quality of home appliances, televisions, lawn equipment and parts, tires, and more. They feature in-house financing with 90 days same as cash, and they service what they sell. Drop by their showroom at 110 North Main Street in Clover, open 8 a.m. to 5:30 p.m. Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. to 1 p.m. on Saturday. Call 803-222-3231 for Boyd Tire and Appliance and Boyd Lawn and Garden. Online at BoydTireandAppliance.com.
And we're back on Saturday Morning Sports Talk with Kevin and the gang.
We'll go back and get.
So NFL time, and guys, we've been talking Panther football, and we've been talking about nothing but third place teams for 8 weeks, guys. And I decided to invite a champ on the panel.
There you
tonight.
go.
I decided that today's the time to invite a first place fan, someone who pulls for a real team that dominates the division. The champ, they made the playoffs,
and they were out like in game 1.
And the Cowboys were too.
Right there, baby.
What are you talking about, Terry?
But I mean, we won the NFC East.
No, well, right now, I'm talking about someone who's won a championship in the last quarter century.
There is no organization better than living in the past than the Dallas Cowboys. They are the best.
He'll tell you all about
best fans of living in the past than the Dallas Cowboys.
How many Super Bowls
maybe the
won?
Pittsburgh Steelers, but the Dallas Cowboys. Let's see.
There he goes.
Let's see.
How many Super Bowls?
I believe was I in high school the last time Dallas won a Super Bowl?
Rob, how many Super Bowls you won?
I told you, best living in the past organization
We've gave
in
y'all
the world.
25 years to
in
catch
the
us.
world.
Terry's
baby.
the only one in here who has children that existed the last time the Cowboys won a Super Bowl.
We gave everybody 25 years to catch us, and none of them can catch us. Only 2 teams.
It's almost 30 years, Terry.
Well, I'm just saying. I mean, how long do we have to give all
You're
of
about
y'all?
to get your AAP card over there waiting
My
on
God.
Well, anyway, I decided to invite the champ on. Rob Roop is here, and so anyway,
I had somebody come in the other day at work and tell me, boy, them Philadelphia Eagles are tough. I said, what? He said, yeah, did you watch them last night? I'm like, you beat the Houston Texans.
Here's the thing. When you win a game, and in any sport, and the best thing I have, when you don't have your fastball, that was the worst game the Eagles have played all year, and still, in the second half, wiped the Texans out. like they were said in the post game, when you can do that as a football team,
Rob,
when
you
you know
beat the
you're not your
Houston
best.
Texans.
And I told RJ when we were watching that game, I said the worst thing for the Eagles was what happened the week before when the Texans were humiliated in that game.
The worst thing would have been if you would have lost to them.
And that's the thing, they didn't.
That's right.
So,
You should win.
I'm just telling you.
So, Rob, I've got my eliminator poll up on the board. Now, I'm going to give you a caveat to this poll. So, normally I put them in order of what I think you have a chance to win the Super Bowl. Okay, so this week the top 14 teams are the playoff teams. They're highlighted in yellow. If the team is gray, I have eliminated them from winning the Super Bowl. I do not believe you're going to win the Super Bowl.
Right.
I'm not even talking about you. 2 teams are in the playoffs right now, Seahawks and Jets, who I've already eliminated. So good luck with those guys. But what I did this week was I reorganized all the teams outside of the playoffs and all the teams inside of the playoffs into best defensive points allowed. Defensive points allowed. So these rankings, 1 through 14, your playoff teams are ranked by defense. And then 15 through 25 are ranked by defense. So, Tom, our Brownies are sitting at the 9th worst defense outside the playoffs.
Yeah, they finally put together a decent defensive effort. And, I mean, really, they gave a couple by-the-way touchdowns, but they really played well on defense Monday night. I don't know if they can keep it up, but they dialed. I mean, I'll give Woods, I've been on his case all season, but he had a pretty good game plan. Of course, without Chase in there, I mean, it's just different for Cincinnati. You know, if they don't have him, it's different. But still.
Well, I'm glad to see number 25 way down there where they need to be.
What, the Cardinals?
Arizona.
Yeah. They can't win with Murray.
Arizona Cardinals exactly at 25. Right. I got the Saints at 24. Browns at 23. Now, this is just defense. This week, I eliminated the Jaguars. So that's the team I said goodbye this week to. 21, the Rams. 20, Packers. 19, Bengals. 18, Patriots. 17, Colts. 16, Bucks. And 15, Broncos have the best defense outside of the playoffs right now. Teams inside the playoffs, 14, the Chargers have the worst defense in the playoffs. At 13, the Falcons. 12, the Seahawks. 11, the Chiefs. 10, Dolphins. 9, Ravens. 8, Vikings. 7, the Jets. 6, Titans. 5, Giants. 4, 49ers. 3, Rob's Eagles. Number 2, the Dallas Cowboys. And number 1, the Buffalo Bills. So according to the defensive stats, we got a rematch of Super Bowls. 29, 30, 31, 32, something like it. Whatever the numbers were.
That's the way it'll be,
Rob.
Yeah,
that's the way it'll be, Rob. Guys, 3 of the top 5 defenses are NFC East right there. So we'll say a little bit about them, those folks playing. Everybody playing defense but Ron Rivera.
Get ready, guys. The Super Bowl will be a rematch of Alabama quarterbacks.
Alabama quarterbacks. So you're going with who?
Eagles and the Dolphins.
Dolphins. Oh, my.
Oh, my goodness.
After the moves, after the trade deadline, you watch the Dolphins.
Who did they get? Who'd they get, Rob?
They died. The guys they picked up on the defensive side of the ball. That's what's interesting here with the numbers now. The moves they made defensively, they can score. And then what they do, they kind of went only on the defensive side of the ball. So I'm telling you guys, just keep an eye on that team second half of the season.
Well, how he's got them ranked is how they'll finish. Dallas will still finish ahead of Philadelphia in the NFC East.
We'll see. We'll see.
Well, Rob, 2 is not winning that.
I'm telling you.
I'm telling you right now.
Keep an eye on him.
You know why? Look at his offhand.
I was about to say.
Look at his offhand.
The mangled hand.
Look at his offhand.
Is his hand still messed up from that injury?
No, his hand's always been like that.
He's always had a weird.
He's got a mangled hand or something. He's handy from the scary movies.
Remember after he went on the ground, they said there was something wrong. I guess that was just his hand.
Everything froze.
Yeah, everything froze.
Look, pick a quarterback who went unconscious this year, Rob. Good pick.
I'm telling you.
He said I was unconscious on the field.
Telling you.
And they put him back in
the
next week. Well, anyway, I haven't. He's way down on my list. All right, here we go. Chargers at Falcons, Robbie. 3-point favorite Chargers.
Yeah, I'll take the Chargers. Anybody out of the NFC South's terrible.
Terry.
I'm taking the Falcons.
Chargers.
I'll go Chargers on this one as well. Dolphins, 4.5-point favorites in Chicago. I guess, Rob?
Dolphins.
Tommy.
Bears at home.
I'm taking the Bears at home.
God, I hate both these teams. Offense. Dolphins. I hate I'm saying that out loud. Panthers at Bengals. Rob, if I'd have told you before the season started that P.J. Walker was going to be, and let's say Matt Rule would be coaching the Charlotte 49ers. Tom, you ready for that one?
Oh, yeah. Whatever.
And Christian McCaffrey's a 49er. Anyway, Panthers at Bengals, Rob.
I just need to make sure he finds DJ Moore in the end zone, but I'm going to take the Bengals.
Yeah, I'm definitely taking the Bengals. Carolina will find a way to lose.
Yeah, Bengals.
Nobody blames a kicker for losing like Carolina Panthers fans. Bengals with the victory. Packers and Lions. Packers at Lions. Lions 1-6. Did they win the first game of the year? I think they did.
They did.
And 3.5. The Packers are only 3.5-point favorites. They have no offense. Both of these teams struggling with different things. Something's got to give. Robbie?
I'm going to take the Packers, but I think it's going to be a bad football game.
Terry?
I'm taking the Lions.
Packers.
Terry, I'm going to give you one more chance. You just said out loud you're taking the Detroit Lions.
I sure am. They'll outscore
over the Green Bay Packers.
Green Bay don't have no offense. Detroit's going to score.
I don't care. It's the Lions. Go Packers. Watch Detroit win. Colts at Patriots. New quarterback you got Matt Ryan, an MVP, and you got Super Bowl champion Nick Foles on the bench, and Sam Ehlinger is starting for the Colts this week against the Patriots and Mac Jones. Robbie?
I'll take the Patriots.
Patriots better not. Bill Belichick better not lose to a guy starting his first start. I would guess the Patriots for me. Bills at Jets. Uh-oh. Bills favored by 11 points in New Jersey.
That's crazy.
Bills.
Yeah, Bills will win, but that's a stupid line. Jeez, the Jets hadn't played that bad. They're 5-3.
Go ahead and take them Jets.
I didn't. I took the Bills.
Kevin's getting
Bills.
ready.
No, I thought I was waiting. I thought Tom hadn't picked you. Oh, Bills.
Oh, okay.
No, I ain't picking the Jets. Vikings at Commanders. Could have a new owner. Bezos could have a new owner. Now, Bezos put the video out that got Kyrie in trouble, but he can buy the Redskins. Y'all make all that make sense?
That's exactly
Go ahead,
right.
Terry. Vikings at Commanders.
Vikings.
Rob?
I'm taking the Commanders.
Washington did everything they could to get rid of Kirk Cousins for 3 years, and he's 6-1 and come back to beat them again. Vikings with the win. Nominee for the game in hell this week, Raiders at Jaguars.
Raiders got shut out. Gosh.
Tom, who you got?
Mid-Jags.
That's who I'm taking, the Jags.
Yeah, I'll take Jacksonville.
Gosh, I was going to pick Jacksonville, and y'all. I can't do 4 across on 2 terrible teams. Raiders with the upset. Jeez.
Mild upset.
Are they not bad?
They're the favorites.
I know, but they're terrible. 2-5.
Seahawks at Cardinals. Speaking of terrible football, who would want to watch this mess? This will be on picture 2 in hell.
Better take Geno
Seahawks
Smith.
are 5-3, Kevin.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, I'm taking Seahawks.
They're awful to watch though.
I'll take
Tom, name me 2 players not named Geno Smith in Seattle.
I know. You're right. You're right.
Don't forget Lockett. Don't forget Metcalf.
You named 2.
That's right. That's what
Name me
I'm
one more,
saying.
Terry. One more, Terry.
That's all I'm saying. And no, the running back from Michigan State.
What's his name? What's his name? Can we name him 3 Seahawks?
Yeah.
You know, I will give our estranged employee credit. When you asked Hunter that question, he could rattle off like 5 names.
Seahawks
because he did. Because that's all he
That's
did.
too young. He was too young. You do that when you're in your 20s.
Yeah, I'm going with Cardinals and Kyler Murray.
You always do.
Seahawks for me.
I'll take the Cardinals.
Rams at Buccaneers. 2 teams that a lot of teams had in the NFC Championship game before this season started. Robbie?
Golly, the Buccaneers have been bad. I'm going to take the Rams.
I'm taking the Rams.
Rams, Tom Brady's done.
Bucks at home. Bless his
heart.
Titans at Chiefs. Chiefs favored by 12.5 over a 5-2 Titans team.
That line surprises me. That's a surprise line there.
Chiefs.
Yeah, Chiefs at home.
Yeah, I like the Chiefs, but I don't think it's 12.5.
Chiefs. I like Malik Willis. All right, Ravens at Saints. Monday Night Football.
Ravens.
No, this is the Ravens.
Saints.
Ravens for me.
Saints.
Buys this week. Browns, Cowboys, Broncos, Giants, Steelers, and 49ers. Listen to KTC Broadcasting Football Friday night. This Friday, we'll have 5 broadcasts on KTC Broadcasting. High school football and more. KTCBroadcasting.com.
Incredible man, I only do things incredible can. Cause I am the seed of a chosen breed. You don't see too many like me. Cause I am one of the reasons you do what you do when you wanna be